Okay. So, we're not actually live at the very moment if you are watching this video right now. This is an unlisted part of the video. So, if you end up coming all the way back to the front of this video here instead of catching up with us while we are live, just as a heads up, I wanted to thank you guys so much for continuing to check out my content. Sorry, I'm eating a bowl of pomegranates right now, so just going over that. But thank you guys so much, seriously, for supporting the channel. In doing so, we actually have a freaking new number here for you guys. 1640 is where we were at previously. 1655 is where we are at today, which is mind-blowing to me, considering that we gained 15 subscribers in the matter of a week. So very happy for that. Obviously, continue being awesome. And I'm going to talk to you guys all when we are live. Let me go ahead and put this thing public, and then we will go on from there. So let's go ahead and pop you to public. Perfect. Okay. We are live now. Let me get this over here. Lighting is going to be kind of intense back here because it is, of course, sunny. Let me see whether or not, hold on, sorry, shield your eyes. No, it was better the other way. So bright. So bright over there. So. All right. Let's see here. So we are here. We are live. We are hanging out. We are having a good time. Hello, Cosmic Seeds. How are you? How are you, my friend? Hopefully your world is treating you very well. Yes, Happy New Year to you as well. Good to hear. Glad to hear you're doing awesome, right? I always love making sure everybody is enjoying their life, and you know, everything's got their ups and downs, but as long as you keep a positive attitude, should be fine. Sorry if I keep like looking at my hands. I am currently in the process of eating a bowl of pomegranates. So a bowl of pomegranate seeds more specifically. So we're doing that, but no snow, no tornado. There you go. There you go. It was hella windy here in Colorado a couple days ago. It was crazy windy. We got a little bit of snow on Sunday, and then it was just like way windier than I thought it was going to be. But we're pretty good. So unfortunately, we do still have to deal with snow, but it's not the end of the world. I'm certainly still very happy that it is a light amount of snow. So yeah, you probably are catching it. Either that or it's coming from you guys over to us. I haven't been outside today, so I'm not sure whether or not it is still crazy windy, but I guess I could always check. If I look outside my window, no, it's not windy here. So, oh man, what a time, guys! I just got over an insane sinus infection. I don't understand. It was like the worst thing I've ever experienced as far as sinus infections go. It was rough. But I'm happy. I literally I got up today and I was like, I'm probably got at least 2 more days of this and I'll be fine. I got up today, I went to go blow my nose, and like everything came out, and I was like, this is actual genuine relief. And I've been on top of the world ever since. So very happy to finally be over that, so I don't have to deal with that kind of nonsense anymore. That sucked. That was bad, having to go to work and deal with all this. It was definitely a pain in the butt, but I'm happy that we got over it. Now I just need my girlfriend to get better, and we'll be good to go. So, yeah. So, I actually wanted to real quick talk about. Let me see here. For those of you who don't know, there is a Celebrational happening. Oh. Fabric. That's what I want. Oh, .gg, that's what it is. this. Found it. Chamomile tea works wonders. It does. I've actually been drinking a lot of peppermint tea. It's just my preferred amount. Got itchy nose now. But yeah, I've had a lot of chamomile. I haven't had any chamomile tea yet, but I've had a bunch of peppermint tea. That certainly helped. Just some hot tea for the throat feels good. Just the steam coming off the tea into the nostrils is really great. Yeah, so you're sticking with Fab. How price been since Rudy? I am sticking with Fab. And granted, like I said, I do also want to try covering some Magic stuff later, but Magic is still going through like a really rocky thing with the community, and I'm not sure if I want to jump back into there just yet. Flesh and Blood, actually, the prices have been just around the same, if not a little bit better. I think a lot of people took Rudy's video as a, this is a huge dilemma, and when Rudy backs out of Flesh and Blood, it's like the end of the world. And the answer to that is it's not. Rudy is just one guy who supports the company through telling people that this is a really good game and that there are collector pieces in it, but Rudy's whole thing is making sure that he has product to sell to his patrons, as well as wanting to collect things from games that he's enjoyed. And I think Rudy realizes that the level of collectability that he has seen from First Ed products like Welcome to Wraith, First Ed, as well as Crucible War and Arcane Rising, it's kind of it's dumbed itself down a little bit, but I think that there is soon to be a bigger escalation into more collectability of things with heavy hitters. I think there's some hoops that LSS, the company behind Flesh and Blood, they're trying to figure out what works best for their company and their players and the collectors, because they know there is a collector's aspect to a TCG. That is something that Flesh and Blood does know. They have an entire section on their website based around collectors. So they know that collectors are important to the overall economy of a game, right? If you have a really, really rare card that is hard to find and is in the best foiling, and that card tends to go for a lot more. Then you also have the gold foils, which are even rarer, and those gold foils are real prize like collector items because those gold foils are only given out to winners of events. And I don't think enough people talk about that. The fact that you playing Flesh and Blood gets you a collector piece if you win. That's kind of cool. I think that's really neat, especially when they do it at like a ProQuest level. You can get it's like a common or a rare or majestic, but it is still really cool to see that there is a collector item. Like gold foils are not printed in main sets. So I think it is really great. Seems to make the game better to support it with money unexpectedly. Yeah. It is. There's a whole lot to Flesh and Blood that a lot of people don't talk about, right? You see falling box prices and you're just like, yeah, falling box prices. Whatever. Oh God, this game's going to zero. I know everybody's talking recently about what happened with MetaZoo. MetaZoo, I think distribution for MetaZoo is selling MetaZoo boxes at 90% off, which is practically free. So that game is seeing a huge decline because a lot of distributors are just going, nope, I don't want anything to do with it. Right? I don't want anything to do with that. But Flesh and Blood is still seeing a huge amount of success all around the world. Not just here in the States, but everywhere around the world. Places in Singapore, in Brazil, in China, or not China, in Japan, in Australia, right, where it was originally released. You see it everywhere. Spain is getting huge stuff there too. Every place is getting the grow into Fab, and people are really, really enjoying it. The player base is continuing to rise. The sun is insane right now. Hold on, I'm gonna turn off my my front facing light because I feel like I just don't need it at this point. Probably dull out a lot of that shine on my face. Whew. All right, that's a little bit better, I guess. But yeah, so that's a big thing. Tournament cards are huge. You know, you get promos, like cool promos for the game by just attending events, right? Even if you just go to your local armory, you can go and get promos that are not printed in the main set. And it's the same cards that are in the main set, but they're in a alternate art style or foiling that is not available in the main set. And those are like, that is very, very cool to see how that works, right? To know that you are getting premium promo cards every time you go to an armory at your LGS. You get premium promo cards every time you go to a calling or a battle hardened or any of those, you know, big events. You get you get promos for that too, depending on what package you pick up. You even get like cool playmats, although they've stopped with the playmats a little bit. I think even from an actual level of like sale, they're not doing a whole lot of like crazy playmat releases for pre-release. I think they're keeping them mainly for callings and battle hardens and things like that to really make it a great way to get people in and be able to have a playmat, and a very rare playmat at that, because the playmat economy in Flesh and Blood is also insanely huge. So it is very cool to see that, helping support other artists as well, because you can then buy playmats like that from artists and it helps support them and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, I mean, Fab Slabs are also really cool. It's great to see that. It's great to see that Fab Slabs are a thing now. A lot of people are getting their equipment for their weapon, or their equipment and their hero and everything for their decks Fab Slabbed. And because, like, why wouldn't you? It's super cool, and I love the concept about it. So, your playmat collection many cards. Yeah, hell yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of play. I mean, I could only imagine. I would genuinely like to know how much I have in playmats. I know I have. Let me go get my playmats real quick. I think they're all right here. But let me see. They're all right here. They're all right here. All, they are. All right, chill. Don't worry about the state in which these playmats are in. They don't ever really see a lot of use. But I'm gonna pop these out. They're not like frayed or anything. It's just like crazy. So obviously, first we have this one, right? We've got the original, not the original, but this is the one you can buy from any LGS for like $20. It tells you everything you need to know about Flesh and Blood, where the combat chain is, and where all those things are. So we've got that as far as playmats. Let's see what else we also have. We have got our min-max playmat, which obviously is not like a collector playmat, so we're not going to bother pricing that one. I've got a Yu-Gi-Oh playmat, which I don't need, but I like it because it's a sneak peek for the Shadow Specters set back in the day for Yu-Gi-Oh. And then I think this is where like a lot of the stuff comes in. I have a shitty Christmas present playmat, so I'm curious what that goes for. We're gonna do some math here. Shitty Christmas present. We have the Calling Indianapolis Wreck Havoc playmats. We have, and mind you, this is more playmats than I think I ever would have expected to own, but it is pretty cool. We have the Arachne playmat, Arachne Solitary Confinement playmats. Flesh and Blood, that was won at a armory for a raffle. And then I know I have a one of the Everfest ones, and I have the Bright Lights one. Yeah. So let me go ahead. I'm going to do a quick. We're going to do a quick little calculation here because I am curious. Let's look at the shitty Xmas presents playmat Flesh and Blood. Yeah, the Christmas ones are really cool. I do like it a lot. Looks like currently the one that's up right now, let's look at sold, I guess, right? Sold items. So they sold for about $30. So you've got $30 plus the Wreck Havoc playmat. Oh my god, somebody sold a. Whew, that's insane. What? Okay. The Wreck Havoc playmat. Oof, that Wreck Havoc playmat currently, people are selling it for about $60. So $60 into there. It's like 60, 65 roughly. Then we have the Arachne's Solitary Confinement playmat. This one is going for about 35, so plus 35. And then we have the Bright Lights one, Bright Lights pre-release playmat. About $70. That's kind of insane. 70? Yeah, about $70 for that. And then we have the Fractals of Singularity playmat? Is that the correct? I don't think that's the right. Oh, Fractal Replication, that's the one. Yeah, Fractal Replication. Fractal Replication is a special one that's actually from a Rudy kit, like back when Everfest came out. So that's plus $80. I have about $275 in Flesh and Blood playmats alone, which is kind of insane to me. So I got about $275 of those. It's just insane. You playmat holder for one's worth 40, 50. I roll them in a nice 80, 100 card box, depending on size. Yeah, I plan to get one of those, like the vinyl holders that you can put on the back of your door that'll have like a whole bunch of slots for them, but I haven't gone around to get it yet. So, what's up, Riddler Man? How are you? Good to see you here. That's like really nice, but I'm not a big collector of any of them. Yeah, and I certainly wouldn't consider myself a collector, but I think it's just one of those things. It's a lot like checking your bulk, right? I I look at these things and I go, well, that's just cloth, right? Like, whatever, it's fine. It's a thing that I play on, right? It's going to get use, so on and so forth. But but then I look online and people are like, yeah, I'm selling this playmat for $90, and I'm like, $90? I would never pay $90 for that product ever in my life, but it ends up being the case. So, you know, when you can get it for nearly nothing, you can get it for nearly nothing. That's how it works. Yeah, the Grandeur of Valahai looks really good. I mean, what? That's the last fabled gem outside. Well, I guess what they got to make. Do they have a Blood of Drakai? I should look. Do they have a Blood of the Drakai playmat? Because I was like, I think that's the last like gem that they had to put on a playmat. Tramley, I have the worst luck at winning. Oh no, Tom! Oh, I'm so sorry, man. Yeah, I was very lucky. I won the Arachne Solitary Confinement from a raffle, but there's only ever like 5 of us in an armory, so it is what it is. I guess I just I had 20% luck in winning, but all right, Cosmic, you take care. Thanks for coming by. Have a great one. What is it? The Wreck Havoc one. I went to Calling Indianapolis, so I did purchase that one. Then the Bright Rights pre-release one, I actually won. I didn't think I won because they didn't do a raffle for it, right? This was like the wildest thing. They didn't do a raffle for it, but I brought my buddy in, who had never played Flesh and Blood before in like a competitive event. I brought him in for a pre-release, and he had a great time. We both went 2-2. It was like super fun, and we got like nearly half a box each out of like prize packs, just because they were just handing them out. And I was about to head home because it was late, and I was like, I gotta go into work, and I was chit chatting with everybody. And right before I left, the tournament organizer came up to me and was just like, "Oh, hey, Alex, hold on, this is for you." And I'm like, "What?" And he gave me the Bright Lights pre-release playmat, and I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Are you serious? What did I do?" And he's just like, "Oh, you won it. So there you go." And I'm like, "Oh, sick." And they usually do all their raffles were up there on top, so like I guess I just got it. I was very happy about that. And then the fractal replication one I actually got at the Coaxing. Another playmat that I own is a playmat from the Coaxing. Ended up getting that off the prize wall, which was very cool. So yeah, love that stuff. Very, very excited. Also, for those of you who don't know, we do have our little counter here. 1655, 2000 is our goal. Very, very cool to see that we went up 15 subscribers since our last live stream. So thank you guys for that. Appreciate it. 1 ticket per event, then end of the month they raffle, so you get reward. Oh, MinMax Games does that too. Every time you enter an armory, you got a raffle ticket, and then at the end of the month they raffle it off. Yeah, I think it's nice. So what I want to do, sorry, I'm also eating pomegranate seeds, so this is not professional. Don't worry about this. What I want to talk about today is Celebrational. So the Celebrational is, I think it's in a week in New Zealand, Queenstown. Yeah, 17th through 19th. Yeah, next week. This is very interesting, and I like it a lot. I don't know why. There is a dark mode, right? Okay. God. The fact that sites don't have dark modes these days would have been insane to me. But Ethan came out with a article today for Fabrec. He made a whole video on it. If you guys haven't seen it, I suggest going to his channel and check it out. He does a little, rundown of all this, but I wanted to read over it, see what it is. Essentially, the Celebrational is a way for the community to come together. All the people that have been chosen for this are all people that have essentially, like, they've earned their spot here through what they've done. For instance, Ethan talks about how Brody Spurlock, Kevin Lawn, or is it Law? Yeah, Law, and then Viet Fam. They all are like top spot for like lifetime XP in their region, and that's why they got their spots. DM Armada got his spot due to being like #1 in content creation. And then a bunch of other people who have like championed this stuff for like a long time and have really been like the top tier stuff. That's why they got their invite into this. So yeah, right here, players were invited for myriad reasons. #1 lifetime XP regionally is Brody Spurlock, was invited for #1 90-day XP, not just in the world, but specifically North America. Kelvin Law got his invite through being #1 in the APAC and being top of #1 in lifetime, and Viet Fam rounds out the XP invites for being #1 in Europe. Content creators, DM Armada, not even as his day job, is the prolific creator known as DM Armada. So just some content creator stuff here. 1-2 Juice got their stuff due to their fun content creation. Andrew Heinz, obviously, you guys know him from Dice Commando. Covers a whole bunch of stuff. A favorite of mine as well, simply because he has been doing stuff since apparently October 23rd, 2019 for Flesh and Blood. Dice Commando has been covering Flesh and Blood since its origin, which is insanely cool. I love seeing that. And not to mention, he does also talk about some awesome stuff like commoner formats, other budget formats. I know he was actually just on Riddler Gaming's channel, or Riddlerman Gaming's channel. They talked about all the budget stuff and how to get new player retention in. So if you guys haven't gone to check that out, you guys should go check that out too. That's on his channel. Saint Hung is a collector for everybody. Like, this is just all so, like, it's a great way to really, like, show off the cool stuff that the community has done, and then show why that they're here and being invited to the Celebrational. So something that is super cool, the Celebrational is actually an event specifically for the creators in a way. I mean, everybody's going to be there, right? But the Celebrational is a thing specifically for all of these people who are in the creator zone or in the contestant area. And how they're going to do it is insanely cool, because it come to me with two new things to the Flesh and Blood world that I'm very curious to see how they will play out in future things, how we're going to see the even more formats roll out for Flesh and Blood. For instance, we even have right here, I'll go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. So Celebrational is a bunch of different formats, like 13 rounds of formats, 13 rounds across 4 formats before the final 2 players will face off based on standings. This is the non-elimination event, and this is what they're playing. The first 4 rounds are Underdog Blitz, which is a blitz format that was also, I guess, coined as Living Lurker from the Attack Action podcast. This is a blitz format that allows you to only play blitz heroes that are under 100 living legend points. So any hero that's under 100 living legend points can be played. And it is super cool to see that, because it's really going to allow people to kind of get out of their comfort zone and not play the meta, so they can play something like that. But of course, Levia is in the meta in this situation. Phi is also under 100. Prism, Advent of Thrones is under 100, like Dromai even. A lot of these heroes are under 100 living legend points. And so it's pretty cool to see that there's going to be a lot of different stuff to check out. But I'm very curious to see, where that's going to take things. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of power in these decks that are to be played. The next one, 3 rounds of heavy hitters precons. This was super cool because it allows people to see the power of the precons. Obviously, we don't know what lists are for the precons yet, but what will happen is the first round, everybody will be given a random, like, guardian. And the second round, everybody will be given a random warrior. In the third round, everybody will be given a random brute, right, essentially. And it'll allow them to play 1 hero from each of these classes at random, just going up against one another and just having a fun time, right? I think it's so cool. Absolutely, Riddlerman. Absolutely. I think they sound so sick. This even sounds really cool. 3 new formats. Heavy Hitter Solo. Now, this is very interesting, and I feel like this is going to really I feel like this specific format is almost a way to increase the amount of boxes to soon be sold, because we're going to see how effective this format is, because it's a nuanced format. All players will receive a full set of heavy hitters to build a CC deck composed only of heavy hitters. So it's very strange to see that. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get everything in the set in one box, but it is very interesting to see. I'm wondering if full set means 3 of each card, or if full set is 1 of each card, because solo makes me think that it is like a Highlander situation where you get 1 of every card in the set and you have to make a CC deck based out of that. So I'd be curious to see what that's all about. I think it'd be very, very cool to see how that works. And I'm sure it will help kind of maybe it's even to bring up cool like set collecting ideas or cube ideas. That'd be fun. 3 rounds of Living Legend. So they're playing the Living Legend format as well. Living Legend it got a whole bunch of hits recently for Bravo Star of the Show. Starvo's got a whole bunch of stuff that just got restricted for him. But there are a bunch of other ways to still play heroes in Living Legend, a bunch of really cool combos to play. So I suggest that I'm sure that is not going to have a Starvo only meta after all these banned and restricted. So that'll be cool. And then the finals is a best of 3. This is the first time we are seeing a best of 3 for Flesh and Blood in an official way. This is something I talked about previously about young hero formats, how I believe that best of 3 is a super cool way to keep engagement. It's a good way to cycle cards into other decks so you can have more than one deck. But this best of 3 is a little different because they're essentially switching off formats. First round is going to be Underdog Blitz, and then the loser chooses their next format, which can either be Heavy Hitter Solo or Living Legend, and then you get to swap based on those things. So it's a best of 3 between those 3 formats, and you get to see who's like a great champion amongst all of these different formats. So Underdog Blitz, Heavy Hitter Solo, and Living Legend. I think the only thing that is going to be very hard for a lot of players is probably going to be Solo. Precons are easy. I think anybody with a brain can pilot a precon, but I think the Heavy Hitter Solo, being able to make a deck just out of the whole set, there's a lot of cards outside of Heavy Hitters for Guardian, Brute, and Warrior that are like so necessary for the heroes. So it is going to be interesting to see what these players come up with. So yeah, so day 1, it's 3 days, mind you, 3 days of this event. So, and it's all going to be streamed through Savage Feats. So if you did want to check it out live when that happens, go make sure to check it out at Savage Feats. 4 rounds of Underdog Blitz and 3 rounds of Heavy Hitters Blitz Precon on the 17th. Day 2 is 3 rounds of Heavy Hitter Solo and 3 rounds of Living Legend. And then day 3 is the top 2 playoffs for this. So, and then of course, Friday's stream will then feature the world premiere of Heavy Hitters played as 4 rounds of Sealed. Saturday and Sunday stream will feature Calling Queenstown Heavy Hitters Sealed Swiss rounds, and then the first Heavy Hitters draft as well. So it is a way to show off all the stuff that's going to be in Heavy Hitters. I believe the last time they did something like this, this is very reminiscent of when Uprising came out. Uprising came out and they did a huge event out in Las Vegas, I want to say, or New Jersey, where everything was just Uprising themed. Like the whole calling was Uprising themed. All the drafts were Uprising themed. The set was practically spoiled there on site by people doing box openings of Uprising. So it was very cool to see that happening. So I love seeing that kind of stuff. I love seeing that there's, Flesh and Blood's really trying to like switch things up and see that they can be other things than Classic Constructed, which I appreciate. As somebody who does prefer a budget format, I think it's very nice. So that's that. So what do you guys think? What do we think about the Celebrational? I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with it. I hope that in due time we see more stuff like this. I mean, everybody on the list essentially got a free invite, a free flight, free book, free airfare, free stay, all this stuff out in Queenstown. So it's very cool to see, Flesh and Blood really supporting the creators of their game. I know places like Magic the Gathering, they do a lot of this MTG ambassador stuff and and all these other things. And I don't know how well it's working for them. I've seen a lot of people who became MTG ambassadors essentially they left the ambassador role behind them because they didn't like its structure. So I hope we see more too, but let's be real. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Weatherman. I think it's going to be like I would, because again, this is also a celebrational for their 5th year, right? Obviously, October is when Flesh and Blood came out, so it's not until October is their actual 5th birthday. But this is to celebrate their 5th like calendar year of Flesh and Blood. So I'm assuming that's why they're going all out for something like this. And I'm also sure it's why several other creators and players and things like that have not been contacted to go and be that. You had to earn your spot as something like that, doing something for the community in a way. So it was very, very it's a nice gesture, but I don't expect we're going to see it every year. Of course, unless sales just skyrocket for Flesh and Blood after heavy hitters, as to which, it very well could be. And as far as the price, I'm not honestly too sure. Flight, I couldn't tell you what a flight to New Zealand costs. I'd imagine it's gotta be. You know what? I'd be curious. Hold on, let me see. Flights to Queenstown, New Zealand. I'd be curious. So where I am, let's say if I wanted to go out of the Denver airport, it's like $2,000 for a flight. Like about 1.5 to $2,000 for a flight if you were going to do that. Because for instance, it is, if we're going to do the 17th through the 20th, let's just assume, right? Yeah, that's about $2,000 total. You're on the flight for forever, right? It's a long flight. And then, dang, 1,200. If I wanted to leave for Queenstown on the 20th and then come back on the 4th, it'd cost me $1,246. If I wanted to literally just go to New Zealand, that's a lot. But you figure about, yeah, like let's just say $2,000 per person for a round trip flight. Then the hotel, I'm assuming they got a pretty sick deal on hotels, but I'd also assume hotels are probably like, I mean, they got to stay there for 4 nights, right? So you're probably looking at like maybe like $800, maybe not $800 a night. I don't know what pricing is like for hotels in Queenstown, but it might be like $500 a night. Yeah. 4 nights in a hotel, 2 nights on a plane. Yeah. It's got to be 7, 8 grand, probably. If they got deals, on stuff, probably like 7 to 8 grand per person, which is wild to me. Like that's a lot. And I'm sure a lot of these people, maybe they are making enough where they can afford to have somebody else come with them, or they get a +1. And if they get a +1, you've got all this other stuff going on. Because like, I'm sure the Armada would love to bring his wife. Yeah. So I don't know. That's a lot. But again, it is something I would like to see a little bit more. I'd be curious to see if they did do this again, maybe in like 2-3 years or something, if it's going to be the same people, right? Because obviously it looks like you're getting the people who are dedicated to the game, who are playing in a bunch of armories and playing in a whole bunch of other stuff. Like those people are probably going to be on those leaderboards for a while. I mean, you talk about somebody like Brody Spurlock, who breathes, and sleeps Flesh and Blood. I mean, he's going to probably be there for about 3. I would imagine he's still going to be playing the game in 3 years, and so I'm curious if anybody's going to be able to beat his record, in that way. But still, very cool to see. I think this is just something like, as a content creator, I like seeing. It's more inspirational as well for me to be able to continue doing what I'm doing. Obviously, at the end of the day, if I don't get any recognition from LSS, it's not the end of the world. But I do care about the game a lot. I care about the community that we've built. I care about the state of the game and how it can grow. I care about the casual play. I care about competitive play. I care about everything about it. I really do love this game. And yeah, I just, I wish I had more money to buy boxes, but that'll come in time, right? It'll come in time. The more we make content for it, you can make content on anything for nearly nothing. So you don't need to buy boxes in order for you to make money on TCGs, or in order for you to make money as a content creator on TCGs. You don't need to buy boxes. You don't need to crack packs. You don't need to do any of that. You just need to have genuine thoughts and concepts and community discussion, and that's enough, and it'll get you through. So yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oof. It's rough. I don't know. I would like to. I mean, hey, it's, to be fair, like, if I'm really looking at it from like that concept, it's not a terrible price point, but I'd have to be there for forever. And being on a plane for that long, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with being on a plane for that long. My girlfriend would not be. So, like, I don't know when or how we'd ever go to New Zealand. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm very excited to see that. You know what I needed to do? I needed to get my live stream out to other people. I didn't even bother making a freaking Twitter post or anything. We're just hanging out. We're just chilling. Let's see. That'll work. Boop. So, Riddler Man, how have things been in your world? You know, you're still rocking the early morning streams, getting all that stuff done and over with. Let me just share. Okay. There's that. Let me go into Discords. Let me put this here. Let me put this here. Where the hell is it? Content creation. Okay, there's that. And then I think that's everything. So cool. Everybody that needs to know. 201 days straight of uploading 1 to 2 videos and discussing the game. That's insane. Now, are you counting your lives as uploading the videos, right? Or because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been like eating content creation in a lot of days. So got you. Okay. Hey Tomas, how are you? Welcome on in, buddy. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome, dude. I mean, I'm seeing you crack open these boxes, and back when everybody was talking about how garbage the boxes were, you were like, oh, EV? I got it. I'm good. But it's good to know, right? Everybody's growing. We're all growing together. I think it's super cool. Like I said, we gained 15 subscribers in just the last week since I've streamed. And we're still growing. I mean, my video I made was, what's this analytics doing? Do I still have that up over here? I do. My booster box dilemma video is at 2.6 thousand views, and it is just skyrocketing in engagement, and I'm very, very happy about that. it sucks that I always got to make like those videos to talk about these specific situations and then have everybody be like, oh, I don't know, like might not be it. TO for One Piece local. Oh, there you go. One Piece is a game that I don't know. I see a lot of hype for it, but I also see a lot of pain and suffering for it. I don't know. I like the series. I don't think I could play the card game. I think it's just an aesthetic thing for me. But could be wrong. Oh yeah. Hmm. They have coffee too. Pits are needed so badly. Are they? I heard the whole thing was distribution. I heard you couldn't get access to your cards. Like boxes were like impossible to find half the time. I mean, I don't know if it was like Lorcana bad, but oh my god. Oh, I love coffee so much. They're always out of stock. Jeez Louise. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I hear. And I hear it's still like that. Is it still that bad? I mean, the One Piece game has been out for a while now, right? Like, geez Louise. Because like if the game is gonna do very well, like I hear so many people talking about how great the game is, but like the second anything comes out, it's like, yep, it's you can't find it anywhere. OP5. I don't know. It's definitely out of my excuse me, out of my realm of understanding. Like I said, I love the heroes. I love the characters. I love the anime. Right, I haven't finished it, but I love the anime. And but they got to get their distribution figured out. So that's a lot. OP4. Oh, so is Awakenings of the New Era OP5? No. Oh, it is. Yeah. BP Kaido. I could not tell you. I could not tell you what any of that means. I think I know who Kaido is, but hey Jacob, how you doing, buddy? How are things? Yeah, wow. $280 for a booster box. Holy shit. Y'all. It ain't worth that. It should not be worth that. $280 for OP5? You're out of your gourd. Holy shit. That's more expensive than a collector box of Magic the Gathering product. Got me messed up. Can't be doing all that. Okay. So, what I want to do today also, talking about all this other stuff. So, just filmed about to edit our premiere. There you go. Get to editing. That's what I got to do. I made my commoner. If you guys also haven't checked it out, I made a commoner hero overview for heavy hitters for all the 6 heroes and how I feel like they're going to play in commoner. I suggest checking that out if you have not already. But I do have a script written up for the Clash version of that. So hopefully that'll get some information out to you guys as well and talk about that. What I did also want to talk about, I wanted to make another video talking about the cards in heavy hitters and their effects on the current and also old brutes, guardians, and warriors, right? So, but I'm going to wait till the whole set comes out first before finding that out. $60 for one copy that you want to place it for competitive. Well, I mean, it's the same way with Magic too, but Reiner will get a big boost. You think so? I mean, I like his specialization. And there's a lot more cards with Intimidate now. But I think the big thing that is boosting is actually some spoilers for the video. Something that I think is really boosting Brutes this time around is the access to the agility token synergy with the deck. You know, in most cases, you have to roll Scab Skins and hope that you get 2 action points so that you can do one thing and then another thing. But in this case, if you can get an agility token, you're guaranteed to have the one thing gain the go again, and then the other thing you can just go in. So having big cards like that, that means you're able to, even though Scab Skins is still a fantastic option for Brutes, because Battleworn 2 is cracked. But maybe there will be new Brute legs that come in the set that have nothing to do with rolling. So, I don't know. I'm very curious, right? I'm very curious what's happening. A Brute chest? Yeah, right. I think that would be very interesting as a Brute chest. I wonder if it's like it'll have like the beat chest mechanic. It's like anytime you beat chest, you get like 2 additional resources. Well, that's insane. I'm sorry, that is way too powerful. Maybe if it like blocks for 0, it's better. But if you like beat chest, all your Brute attacks get like +2 or something until end of turn. That would be cool. I still think even that would be broken, but that's just me. Brutes, I think Brutes are a terrifying deck to play against, but you're definitely really, really like looking to get some pretty nasty stuff out. Beat chest make bigger token? Maybe. I would say maybe make an agility token. L chest or gloves for Brute, L helm or weapon for Warrior, and L boots or gloves for Guardian. Now, I don't know about an L weapon. I don't think they'll ever do that. I think they made like a statement as to that they'll never make L weapons. But an L weapon would be cool. An L weapon would be cool, especially for Warrior. Like, especially when Warriors like care a lot about their weapon. But unfortunately, that would be like a big, I don't know. It'd have to depend on like the power level of the weapon, right? Because if a legendary weapon came out for Warrior, let's say for instance, a legendary weapon came out for Olympia, right? Because he's like the sickest, you know, the coolest warrior, and he cares enough about his weapons to where they're legendary, right? I think that if that were the case, Olympia would have to be insanely good. If Olympia became insanely good to the point where that L weapon was like the best, I think that would have been a mistake on LSS's part. But of course, we don't know power levels of things. I don't think there will be a legendary weapon, but my spreadsheet says dual warrior, guardian head, brute guardian arms. Oh, like brute guardian arms. And brute warrior chest and generic legs. We're definitely going to be getting some dual class equipment, I would say. Generic legs would be wild. Wild, depending. Because if there's a good generic leg that drops, that's going to be the chase outside of these Marvels. Also, before we get into Clash, right? I want to ask everybody. Obviously, everybody knows the Marvels from Bright Lights sucked, right? We're all on the same page of that. Bright Lights Marvels were awful. But how do we feel now about the heroes being Marvels? Because I personally feel like heroes being Marvels is a lot more of a draw than even something like um the dragons or the angels in Dust Till Dawn. Because everybody likes to trick out their their equipment suite, right? Their arena cards. And Marvel Heroes, I think, is the best way. I mean, obviously, you see how well they're doing with the secondary market. You know, you can only find them in non-English, right? Which means that people now have to buy from secondary markets outside of the US to purchase these cards, unless, of course, people in the US already have them. And you get an absolutely gorgeous Marvel version of a hero. Now, I think it's very, very interesting that a lot of people were just like, oh, they should have done the dual here. Like, it should have been the front and back, right? But the reason they don't do that is because if you need to explain what your hero does to your opponent and you just have the Marvel version in there, you need to have like a physical like way to tell your opponent like this is what this card does. Marvel heroes will always be sought after if they're in front and center of your boards. Exactly, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like cold foil weapons, Marvel heroes, cold foil equipment, like that is the I'm flexing on you situation. And of course, the dragons and the angels are also super cool. And personally, I would never put them in my deck, right? I would do exactly what I did with Dromai, which is I have the Marvels set aside in like top loaders, and I would play them when I had to flip my card. Right? If I had to flip my card, I would put down. I'd have the tokens with. They're not tokens, right? But like I'd have the Marvels with me to then put on top of the flipped dragon because like that's the better way to do it. But with these, it's nice because you have them there. They're right in front of you. They're not going to be put in your deck, so it's very cool. Victor on a horse would be the most sought after because of the horse. You think the horse is the big reason? I mean, I certainly wouldn't doubt that, I guess, but I'd be curious to see. Let me see here. Is there a lot of hype for the horse? First steed in the game? Is it? I mean, don't get me wrong, the card does look super cool, right? Like if if I am if I'm being honest, I think out of all of the Marvels, I think that the adult KO is probably my personal favorite. I think that is the absolute. I don't even know why I'm just look at this. Like this is in. Oh, shut up. This is insane to me. I'm just gonna enhance. Look at that. God, that's so cool. Like everything into the detail, the chain around his neck, just the savagery. Something else that was also brought up, which I thought was really cool. I can't remember who brought this up, Mansant or something. But it's almost like what this is supposed to be is like a perspective from like you're a combatant on the ground and you're looking up at KO as he's like charging at you and you're like, oh God. And I think that is so damn cool. It's so damn cool. I love that. But yeah, so there's that. Of course, we have what else? We've got freaking Victor. Victor doing gang stuff. Let me see here. Let me get Victor out. Oh, they don't have his cold foil up here. That's unfortunate. We don't have his cold foil up here. But you guys get what I mean. It's a horse. So, oh, is he up there? Okay, hold on. I'm going. Fab TCG. Boop doop boop doop boop. Enter the arena. Hero page. Victor Goldmane. Doo 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 boo doo doo. There he is. Ah, it's right here. Open image in new tab. There we go. Look at him. Look at that guy. See, that's the thing. I think the mount is obviously just an artist's perspective and not a it's not like I don't think I don't think the horse is going to do anything. It would be cool, right? If there was a new like mount mechanic, but I'm going to be honest, the way this guy is portrayed, the way his backstory is, the way everything is in regards to him, he doesn't give one shit about this horse. I promise you that. He would kill this horse if it meant getting him more money. If it meant him winning a clash, he would kill this horse. Guaranteed. I put money on that. I put 3 gold tokens on that sucker. Sacrifice horse, get 3 gold tokens. That is literally going to be Victor Goldbane when he becomes a shadow warrior, is sacrifice horse, get 3 gold tokens. No, absolutely though. Absolutely. Obviously, animals on things is a big deal. People are going to love it. People are going to love it. And I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be a great time. I'm very excited to see everything that's going to happen. This thing, on the other hand, can suck like 8 dicks. What the hell is this? And why is this like this? This is insane. This is absolutely ridiculous. I genuinely like when I first read this, I was just like, oh, okay. You know, pay 3 to attack for 4. And if you lose a clash, you get a -1. But like, you play Guardian. You play Guardian. You play Guardian. Everything in your deck is going to be like 7+, right? And you just play everything that is huge power and just go, okay, cool. Block 3, block 3, block 3, block 4, defense reaction, unmovable. Okay, cool. My turn. 4. Yeah, I win that clash. Okay, cool. Good talk. Exactly. You just get to go back and you're just like, oh, you know what? No, I don't need to flip it. Do it again, right? And just keep coming in for 4. It's insane. It's insane. I wouldn't call it Duskblade 2.0. It's like significantly worse Duskblade, but damn, is it cool. Fuck. I don't know. This, on the other hand, is also super cool. I talk about this in my video when I eventually make the Clash video. But for him to be able to reveal it, and if he wins this Clash with this card, you get a gold token. Crazy. So it's like 3 copies of this. 7. Does my 7 beat your 3? Your 4? Yeah, I bet it does. Okay, cool. Get out of here. No, exactly. Right? Okay, depending on your card pool. Yeah. So, okay, Geek Source, you're saying one aspect people are not necessarily speaking about much is that they are putting the card from the wager. If you use the ability to put it on the bottom, they lose that card. Okay, so the Clash, they destroy the card if they win, which is huge. But if they lose the Clash, they can then take that card from the top of the deck and put it on the bottom, therefore messing up pitch deck stuff. So yes, it is like a multitude of different things you can do with this, which is really, really cool, right? Now, the other thing a lot of people actually aren't talking about is how this plays into Illusionist. I believe I talked about this last week. But this plays into Illusionist insanely well. Obviously, it doesn't matter for limited, but this plays into Illusionist super well because when you attack, if it's the top card of their deck, right? Obviously, Illusionists also have very high power attacks, so it's going to be rough for that. But if you destroy the top card of the illusionist deck, right? Let's say it's a card that has a let's say it's Dunebreaker Centipie. Dunebreaker Centipie is when it says when this card is destroyed, create an Ash token. So if you destroy that card from the top of their deck, yeah, they don't have a card in their deck anymore, but they do still create an Ash token, from what I know, which is very interesting. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't activate anything in regards to Ghostly Touch. Ghostly Touch is like the one way that illusionists can try and beat Guardians, personally, that I know of. And Ghostly Touch, the whole point is that anytime you attack with a card with Phantasm, if they pop it, then a counter goes on Ghostly Touch, and then you just stack those counters until eventually you can find a way to remove the Phantasm from Ghostly Touch and attack with it for like 20 or something. In this case, you can destroy cards with Phantasm from the top of their deck, but it doesn't get a counter for, even if it is a card with Phantasm, it doesn't get a counter on Ghostly Touch, because Ghostly Touch only cares if your card is destroyed from a Phantasm like popping effect. And this will negate that, which is insane to me. So very powerful, very powerful stuff. For such an absolute douchebag of a character. Very well created, I gotta say. So I'll be at Hartford for release weekend doing limited sealed. Nice. I wanted to go. Well, I would have gone to Hartford if I was still living in Illinois, but maybe. But that's drive still. So. Yeah. I think that's the other thing too. I don't know if you guys saw this. When did they update this? Here. Where is it? Is it marketing assets? Marketing assets. Heavy hitters. Yeah, there you go. No, not marketing assets. What am I talking about? Retailer news. That's what I want. In here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is something that they just updated. It was the how pre-releases are going to be working for heavy hitters. So something that is very, very interesting that I really, really like that they're doing, because originally, at least for Outsiders, it was cool because Outsiders, they gave you a cold foil copy of the diseases, right? You can get inertia and blood rot and frailty. And you got those like starting. They were cold foil versions. They were double sided. So you didn't get 3, you got those, right? So they're doing nearly the exact same thing with this. The pre-release kit supplied to your distributor. You get these in here. This is the kit. The kit is it supports up to 16 players. Each player receives a Heavy Hitters 9-card pre-release pack, which includes 1 copy of a cold foil starting stake. You get a cold foil copy of a card that makes you a gold token if you don't have any, which is sick. No gold, no go again though. So, you know, you're going to want to probably try to make it in the end. And then you also get 1 Might and Vigor reversible rainbow foil token, 1 Agility and Gold rainbow foil reversible token, and then 6 hero and weapon tokens. That means that you're able to play any of the heroes starting right off the bat without having, I mean, obviously, like previously, if other people pulled certain heroes that you didn't pull in your packs, you were able to, it was like a pool of tokens that you could pull from. But this way, they're just giving them to you. So you get to keep all the tokens, you get to keep all these cool rainbow foil tokens, and also this cold foil starting stake. Super cool. So, and then I think it is just me see. How was it run again? Yeah, heavy hitter sealed deck, so it's still sealed. I wish the Blitz decks have the rainbow foil. I hope so too. I think that'd be very cool. Be very cool to have that. I know a lot of people really enjoyed it. So there you go. So it's sealed. You're not doing any kind of UPF thing or anything of the sort. Yep. Pre-release events are casual events and chance to introduce new players to the community. When you're running and judging events, please be friendly and polite towards players and encourage them to act in the same way. If there are rules breaches, we would encourage you to assume good faith on behalf of the players, do your best to correct the game state in a match to continue, and use the situation as a learning opportunity to teach players about the game. I actually had to do this for somebody. I don't know if I ever told the story. But I was at the Bright Lights pre-release, and at the Bright Lights pre-release, there was mini force. Somebody was going against my friend, and they were playing a mini force field. They played mini force field, and they played it. My friend attacked them, and it warded off the attack. Right? I think it got like 2 damage through, or something, and it warded the whole thing. But the player there, and I don't know the player's thing, I don't know how long they've been playing or so on and so forth, but I know my friend was like brand new. And so the guy, when this hit, or when my friend's attack hit him, he took all the counters off mini force field and was like, it warded off a portion of the attack, right? But then he thought it stayed on the field, because then next turn it was going to be destroyed at the beginning of the turn to then have him galvanize something. Like have something galvanize and it come in for like an X amount of crazy things. And I had to explain, both me and some other guy were watching this match, and both of us were just like, that's not how ward works. And so we explained it to him, this whole thing, and it was very, it was chill. My friend ended up winning, which was great, because he was going to lose if that galvanize went through, but he didn't have the actual opportunity to. But I am really happy about the Blitz precons. I'm even happier that with the Blitz precons, we're going to see that at a Celebrational too, because the Celebrational is going to have Blitz precons. They're going to be playing Blitz precons. I personally am excited to get a brick of them as well. I believe tomorrow? CC precons, please. I see, that's the thing. And I hate to break it to everybody who's talking about them. I really hate to break it to everybody who's talking about this. I genuinely think CC precons are just going to be budget versions of decks that are already in CC. Like, I don't think you're going to get a legendary reprint in a CC precon. You might get a Majestic, right? But like, I think CC precons are super cool. I love the concept behind it. I love that people have a want for them. But along, just like the Blitz decks, they don't match up. The only thing that they do is they allow you to take a deck, buy it from your LGS, and go play in the event. But the same problem occurs every single time. When somebody buys a CC precon, they're going to open it up, and they're going to look through the cards, and they're going to go, okay, I guess I kind of have an idea of how this works, but the decks are not going to be anywhere near the power level of the people at your locals. And it just won't. The only time that is ever going to be at such a significant playing field is when your LGS does something like a pre-constructed night, where you run an armory and everybody at the armory can only run precons. That's something that I personally enjoyed a lot. I thought I've never gotten to do one, but I think it was JYQ. I don't remember. I don't know their actual name. They're on Twitter a whole lot, and they have done Blitz precons. I'm pretty sure this was Games Haven. They did a Blitz precon night where everybody came in. You spent $10, you got a Blitz precon, right? Or $15, you got a Blitz precon, and that was your entry. And everybody played, and they all figured it out, right? But it turned out that it was a league, and it went over the course of like a month. And essentially, what happened is everybody who came in, you the first day you got a Blitz precon. The next day of the league, you got like 3 packs of the set that precon is from. So they were doing Outsiders at the time, I think. So everybody got a random Blitz precon from Outsiders. And then the next week they came in, they paid their entry of 15, and they got 3 packs that they were able to add into their Blitz precon deck for that week's event. And they did that every week until the end of the month. And the winner with the most like points essentially won the league. Innovation like that I think is super cool. It increases the amount of product being sold. It gets new players into the game because you start at the same level and everybody gets the same treatment all the way through. You didn't have to buy any legendaries. You didn't have to play any specific things. You just bought a precon, and every other week, you bought some packs. Super awesome. I highly suggest it. I think it's a great way to get people into the game. Because as much as I don't like how the structure of most of these Blitz decks are, they are really good into one another. And that's the big thing. They're very good into one another. And that's what I care about. I care about them being good into one another. All right, so you're telling me that at the hell is that? 11. So 10 a.m. is when this drops. 12 p.m. ET, 10 a.m. My God. All right, Tomas, take care. Have a good night. We'll talk to you later. Also, I did want to make a quick, I don't know whether or not I'll like take this little bit out of the video and maybe use this, but if I do, you guys will see it. Something that I wanted to talk about was an insane video that came out of Cardinal Gaming, a store that I don't normally hear talk about Flesh and Blood, but I want to talk about how embarrassing of a video he made in regards to this, the TCG Player exclusive bundle. Because so many, like everybody in the comments was ruining him. He had made a what do you call it? A video talking about how he believes that even though LSS says that they are doing everything for the LGS and they're doing everything for the game stores, and that's where their big promotions are, is for that this here is actually something that is probably going to not be by map pricing. And that's because he straight up was just like, I don't know why they haven't put the price down for this. I don't know why the price hasn't been down for any of this. All it says is that you can pre-sale starts on 112. That's it. Like, oh yeah, there's no pricing. But if you scroll down to this little bit right here, just a little bit further, it's right here. How much does a Flesh and Blood Heavy Hitters Collector bundle cost? $160 plus $10 for shipping. So $170 total is what you get out of all this. Where can I go to purchase it? Sale kicks off January 12th. You can access the sale by following this link. Don't forget to subscribe to Flesh and Blood promotional emails for real-time updates. So This also, for the record, if you guys have not already thought about buying this, $170 gets you a box, gets you a brick of all of the blitz decks that come in heavy hitters. And it also gets you a special extended art promo of Test of Strength, right? Test of Strength being, what is that, the Clash one, right? And the hell is it? Test of Strength. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it not in? Oh, there it is. Test of Strength. When this defends Clash with the attacking hero, the winner creates a gold token. Now, this card could never be, it could never see play, right? I'm not a big fan of these block cards, but it might never see play. But what I do know is that the last promo I bought from a Flesh and Blood Heavy Hitters collector bundle, or a Flesh and Blood collector bundle on TCG Player, is now going for an insane amount of $125. Now, granted, Breaking Point is a little bit more of a hype card. It's going to see probably a lot more use, possibly. The card also did spike in price, I think, because it got bought out when I even remember this. Mara Ferris was playing her Dromai, and she was playing Empress, and she was playing it into a very Arsenal heavy meta. And she ended up playing this Breaking Point. She ended up playing it was like a Breaking Point. But it was enough for every single Dromai player to go, I need this card. And it spiked in price. There's like a whole bunch of sales. But you'll see there's only been a couple sales, but I think it's crazy to me. And I could sell this card right now for $130. When I bought the kit for like I don't know, what did I buy it for? I think the same price, like $150. So if the trend is true and it stays true, right? Even from a collector's perspective, there's only going to be, where the hell is it? What does it say? There's only going to be 1,500 of these available, which means there's only going to be 1,500 of these tests of strength in this form ever. And that is a collector card. I don't care that it's a card that nobody's going to be able to play or nobody's going to want to play or whatever it might be. That's a card that is super, super good. And I think that it is definitely a great place to start. So $160 gets you all this here, but the I can't remember his name. The person at Cardinal Gaming was like, this has to be at map pricing. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge letdown for LGSs everywhere. And he thinks that just LGSs are going to start dropping the product 8 ways to Sunday. And it's just not going to be the case. But the fact of the matter is you were getting a $80 box. You're paying practically $80 for a box, $80 for a kit. It's really like probably like $100 for a box, $60 for a kit, and then this card, and then shipping. So you're getting them at map pricing. I'm almost certain of it. So that's just how it be. But I highly suggest if you're looking for something to get, this is going to be a good one. 1,500 available, and they're going to go fast. They might not go fast, so just be aware of that. Might not go fast. But I'm very, very curious. I'd love to see more about that. See that kind of stuff. It's going to be fun. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to talk about Clash. Okay. I want to talk about Clash. Wait, hold on. What is this? Content creators. Am I on here? Am I on here? I might be. I'm not. Well, hold on. Now I got to check. Am I not a content creator? I don't know how I get myself set up on that. I want myself to be set up on that. Preferences. Deck registration, talent share? Okay. Well, I guess unfortunately I'm not a content creator on Fabbrary yet. Unfortunate. Well, maybe soon, right? Maybe I just didn't see myself. Let me see. Ash in. Nope, that's just my name up there. Boo. One day, I'll get there. One day. One day I'll be up here. I swear it. I swear it. Okay. So I wanted to talk about Clash real quick because Clash we've gotten a bunch of updates, things like that. Not really anything like insane for the updates, but what we are currently doing, for those of you who don't know, there was the inaugural tournament for Clash back in the day. The inaugural tournament for Clash was run by Mansant and a bunch of other casters, and it was super, super cool. For those of you who don't know, we are doing a new Clash Bash season. We're making them into leagues, essentially. It's going to be like a 9-week league. I'll get all the... I might have all the information actually in Discord. Hold on. Pins. Clash League response. Clash League. I think this is what I want. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So this is what we're kind of looking at here. And I wanted to just genuinely give you guys an idea of what we're doing as far as the Clash League. So our Clash League is based in here. We are doing it mainly over the internet, right? Unless you can find opponents that are in person. That is super cool also. But what I want to do, I want to go over everything here, talk about what we're doing for the Clash League, and how we want to structure it in a way. So it's a friendly league, and it's free. Free league. You don't have to pay anything. 9-week league with... Oh my god, there's so much busted up stuff over here. Tore up this back there. Anyway. So it's pretty cool. 9-week league, then it cuts top 8. So it'll be for a while. Each match will be the best of 3. Each player will bring 2 heroes and must win with both of the heroes to win the match. When a hero has the game, player may not use that hero for the rest of the match. Winners can submit their results to that link here in the official YouTube of the Flash Clash community, and Fab Clash is also up. We do have a new site that we're calling the Fab Clash Hub. Not a new site, a new YouTube channel. And that is going to be where we're going to post a lot of videos, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Fab. Maybe we'll even do like a little Clash podcast on stuff like that there too, with people of the committee, and talk a little bit about more of the add-ins of stuff. Of course, we have the registering, right? Registration is just free. You just fill out that form, and you'll be registered for the event. Key dates: the first registrations are processed February 11, 2024. If you're registering late, complete the form, then message Nathaniel on Discord. The play starts on the 12th of 2024. So you'll have time to get your stuff. And the play ends on April 14th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. US. So it goes for 9 weeks. Like I said, it's a super long time. And the top 8 will be for another month. The reason we are making it so long is because we realize that a lot of people are not going to be able to get there at any moment, right? It's not a drop everything and play kind of deal. We want you guys to be able to play at your own leisure and, figure out a time that works best between you guys, right? And the whole point is that we want you to play against unique opponents. So you can't play against the same person twice. But we aren't going to have a tournament bracket. It's going to be based on points. And we mainly just want to keep it kind of set up in the regard for a top 8 situation. So obviously our whole thing is we want to make sure that it is very important to you guys. Just set up a time that works best between you and another opponent. You don't have to worry about being at a certain place at a certain time. You talk to your opponent and you go, hey, this time works best for me. What time works best for you? And hopefully you can get it figured out. And of course, if there is some kind of language barrier, which I don't expect there to be because we haven't had any yet, just let us know and we'll be able to figure out it to the best of our ability. But what I also like about this, something that you're gonna want to like, the form does not tell you what heroes you have to play. You can play any heroes, any 2 heroes during any of your matches for as long as you want, or as little as you want. So for instance, if you wanted to play Ira and Icelander during your first game, but you didn't like their kind of playstyle, so you then wanted to go ahead and play Bravo and Oldhim for your next match, you can do that. And that is a way for us to kind of generate some data, talk about some other small little things in regards to that, but also, more importantly, make it, again, more of a casual event. Bring what you want, play around with it, have a good time, and that's really what we expect out of it. Another cool thing that is important about this is obviously we're doing this nearly directly after Heavy Hitters hits shelves. So we don't expect a lot of people to have all the cards that they might want. There might be some majestic weapons or some rare equipment or specializations that they might not be able to get their hands on. And I do believe that with that happening, we want to be able to you would have the time to do that. So we don't expect people to get their games in and on February 12th. Obviously, if you want to build Betsy for Clash, then you can wait until you get all the cards you want for Betsy, and then you can play Betsy. The only time that we are expecting heroes to be locked in is when we are doing our top 8, but we'll get to that. So obviously during season play, you can register up there. You can play 8 regulation matches versus unique opponents. Every match is played best of 3, 2 points for a win and 1 point for a loss. You may not play the same player more than once. See the matchmaking section to find out below how to find opponents. Players are strongly encouraged to accept games versus any unique opponent when schedules align, without regard to the skill of the player, affiliation, etc. Right? So even if it's just you playing against your locals, that's fine. If it's you playing against a bunch of people online, that's fine. This is pretty big though. Season play may be played over webcam, on Talishar, or in person as long as both players are in the league. This is very important because we want to make sure that both players are in the league. We want to make sure that we're getting that information through. And we really want this to be a big deal for us. Match result submission and to do any kind of extra games. So when you win, you'll submit this stuff here. So you make sure that everybody gets credit. And then after completing your 8 regulation matches, you may continue to play the league games versus unique opponents. In that case, you will earn 0.002 points if you win and 0.001 points if you lose. Your opponents score points for the match normally if it's one of their first 8 matches. So for the example, it's week 4 of the league. You've already played all 8 of your matches, but your opponent's only played 6. So if they win, they score 2 points, and you'll score 0.001 points. And of course, if you win, they score 1 point, and you score 0.002 points. This allows it for it to be very, you're not like outdoing a whole bunch of other people, but you are still increasing your point value the more games you play. These extra games allow players to play as many games as they want during the regulation play. It gives a slight reward to players who choose to invest a lot of time and energy supporting the league by being able to play games even after they've completed the required number. In the end, these fractional points will only matter for players on the bubble, or the people, for instance, in the exact score threshold to make the top cut. Note that you can still only play each player once. So you can't just like go against the same opponent several times and just keep racking up those decimal of worth of points. You have to still do that. Deck building. Rules on deck building. You can follow the Clash site. For deck building, visit this. The deck choice. Both players must select 2 different heroes and reveal their 2 heroes at the start of the match before any games you have been played. You may change your decks however you wish between matches by either changing your hero choices or decks. So let's say, again, right, I talked about how, let's say your first match goes through, you played Icelander and Ira, and you were like, I didn't win, I didn't quite like the play style of it, I'm going to go ahead and switch it up, and I'm going to change to Oldhim and Bravo. So the next person you face, you can say, well, last match, I played Ira and Icelander. This match, I'm playing Bravo and Oldhim. And you both reveal those at the same time, so that way you're not like switching out decks halfway through kind of deal. But you can also make changes to your deck as well in between matches. So let's say you don't like 2 copies of a card and you only want to cut it to 1, or maybe you want to change the card out for a completely different card. You can do that as long as it is still structured under the Clash format. So there's that. The match details, of course, best of 3. Same deal, you got to win with both your heroes. To start, randomly select who chooses to go first. After the first game, the loser will select who will start the game first. So if you lose, you get the option of figuring out who's going to go first. Sportsmanship, this is obviously a big thing. I don't really need to go over this because it says everything that it needs to, but we expect everybody to be on their best behavior and to not cheat, do anything of the sort. In regulation games, action should not be taken back once declared, though if you ask for a takeback, your opponent may choose to grant it. When experienced players are playing against newer players, consider being more lenient with this rule for the newer player. I don't know how many new players we have in regards to this, but it is important that everybody is comfortable doing it, right? If people don't know what they're doing, that's fine. But 1 or 2 mistakes, not a bad thing, right? Several, I'd say don't worry about your takebacks, right? Again, it's a free league. No need to make it super insanely competitive. It's a free league. Everybody gets to hang out and have a good time. So that's what it's all about. What's up, Chile? How are ya? Welcome on in. How are you doing? I'm going over our Clash League rules. So how are you balancing Icelander? Well, I personally have not done enough testing in regards to Icelander. Icelander just recently got an Amulet of Ice ban in Commoner. So, not specifically Icelander, but like everyone who can use Ice got an Amulet of Ice ban. So, Icelander is better decked by a big margin. I still hear that Icelander is doing very well. But I also hear that Icelander is doing really poorly against certain other heroes, like Oldhim, doing poorly against Ira, even. And I'm not sure personally on the statistics, but that is also and that's the thing. We might take action after the league. The reason being is because we don't have enough data right now. Because Fabrary is not an accurate source of data, and we don't have like a general chart. So we don't really know. We know that Icelander is strong, but is she the strongest, right? Because we have tale that other people at other LGSs, that there's this guy on Ira, and he just cracks everybody down on Ira. Like there's just you don't stand a chance if you're going against Ira. And there are people who have gone Icelander into Ira, and Ira has won. You have Guardians who have gone into Icelander, and Guardians have won. You have certain other heroes that have gone into these same ones and have won. And it's all just based on deck creation and how that all works, but I'm not personally too sure. I think, again, the reason we're doing this league is, one, community building. We love Clash, and we want more people to be interested in it. And I feel like this is going to be a good amount of media presence for it. But two, the main personal reason I think we're doing this is for data. We want to be able to make changes to the format. And if just like 4 people are playing Clash in Talishar for like weeks on end, we're not ever going to know the true power behind certain heroes. Because like I still can't really get a grasp on Icelander and how she plays. But there are some people out there who are a master at Icelander and would rock my socks if they were playing Icelander. So it's just different. I think we're gonna take the time, right? A lot of this is testing, but that's the whole purpose behind this. Is we're trying to make sure that it's first and foremost a great introduction back into Clash after it kind of being on the wayside for about a year and a half now. But more importantly, we want to continue to gather data, better the format for everybody. Because if Icelander truly is a problem, I mean, genuinely is a problem, I think if anything, the only thing that we'd probably do is ban Aether Icebane. Maybe. Like, I feel like that's like the only other card in which people are like, yeah, like I can't deal with that. Like, Aether Icebane, it's a powerful card. Red Aether Icebane is really powerful. Do I think it needs a ban right now? I'm not too sure, right? Obviously, if an opponent can race the hell out of an Icelander and do it so incredibly effectively that they don't have an opportunity to play something like that, then they probably have a good chance. But again, I don't personally know. So, yep, absolutely. And that's it, right? That's the whole purpose of this. We're going to have everybody record their games. If you can, we do expect all the games to be recorded, but if you can't, like, I get it. But it is a great way to get people into the format. Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, absolutely. That's how it's meant to be. You know, everybody played Clash a long while ago. And especially, I mean, when she had Amulet of Ice. We actually just recently in the Discord, we talked about it. Because somebody came in and they said, Icelander is still BS after Amulet ban, and I play Icelander. Froze some toes with me being 16 to -1. Gotta test more, but even after the Amulet ban, I have only lost 1 game, and that was before the Amulet ban. But, you know, we like to have those discussions and talk about that. There are people who are doing like Clash stuff all around the world that we just don't get the daily data for. That's the reason why we have our Discord channel right here. I do also have it linked, I think, in the description of this live stream right now. So if you are not a part of it, I suggest joining it. That way you can get information on Clash as well as the information here too. So submitting gameplay. This is something we also want to talk about. We encourage everybody to record their matches. The Clash committee's goal is to have highlight a match every week with commentary, just like the original Clash Bash that Mansant ran. The game's supposed to be played with cards and not on Talishar. This is kind of a big thing, especially when it comes to top 8. We do want people to be playing with the cards in person. If you don't have any kind of setup, most people have a cell phone. There is eventually a guide I would like to make, theoretically, that is the best way to play Talishar through something like Discord or a certain website that you can use your phone as a camera, and you can just point it down, have it over your desk or wherever you're playing, and be able to play through that. Because your phone has a microphone, your phone has a camera, and if you really needed to get through with it more, you could get a webcam like I do. There are like $30 webcams online. You can get a little microphone arm if you wanted to like hold the camera up. It's you can get crazy with it, but we do suggest that people do play the games in person because one, it's a budget format, and in budget formats, I mean, you really don't have the reason we like it is because it's affordable, and more importantly, it is supporting LSS and supporting your LGS even by buying these cards in person and then playing with them. The only times that we expect there to be any kind of like insane thing, we don't really want to make proxies a big deal because I'm not a big fan of proxies personally. But if somebody did want to play somebody like the Emperor, for instance, the Emperor in Clash, their specialization card is Command and Conquer, which is a $70 card. And if you need to get two of them, it's $140 for just that. And obviously, that's not very budget friendly. But if you want to play Emperor, I got to tell you right now, Emperor is not like super great into the format from what we know. But that doesn't mean it couldn't grow later on in life. But it is important to realize that that is a thing. So, yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, like we're having a whole bunch of people from different communities join in. We just had a whole bunch of people from the Spanish community of Flesh and Blood join in, over from like Fabritorium, Carlos and a bunch of people from over there who have been trying out Clash at their locals in Spain for a little while are joining in for that. So that's very fun. We got a bunch of people from around the world who are joining too. So very, very happy to see, more and more people try to join in. So obviously we'd love to see more and more people. The more the merrier. That's how I personally say it. So matchmaking, of course, there is going to be a looking for group channel that you can do. So obviously, again, you're going to be looking for an opponent that you have not played yet. So if you have played a bunch of opponents, you're not sure who you played against, maybe like write down their name, and we'll do like an update every week showing who's played who. Time limit. There's no time limit for any of the games, right? Again, this is a very casual, relaxed thing. The game should not take long because it is Clash. It's probably like 30 minutes-ish, but we get it. Like, if you need to, like, if you finish, for instance, if you finish one game out of your 3 games, but then, like, you need to go take care of your kids or something, or you need to go run an errand that you forgot about, put it on hold. You can start it over, or you can play the next game whenever you have the opportunity to play that player again. If it works for them, it works for you. We just want to make sure to make it fair. And then microphones. All players are strongly encouraged to use a microphone. If for some reason you can't use a microphone, you may still make your actions clear at all. You must still make your actions clear at all times. So you have to make sure to like type these out or really, really show that this is what you are doing, because we don't want people to be lack of communication always leads to problems, especially in card games. So we don't want people to think that they're like, okay, yeah, I'm playing this card, or I'm blocking with this card, or, oh no, sorry, I flipped this card over. It's actually not what I want. What I'm going to block with. I'm going to block with this. And they're like, oh no, I'm actually not blocking anything at all. And you have to make sure that you're telling what it is there. Yeah, exactly, Chile. Like it's not, certainly not the best. Certainly not the best in regards to that, but I would say the Emperor has its winning moments, but most of the time it's not that great because, I mean, one Command and Conquer doesn't win you the game. It's insane stuff like Icelander or insane stuff like Oldhim and maybe even some of the new heroes to see how things move around. So, but who knows, right? I mean, I'm sure we're going to see people who are playing merchants in the league, which would be fun. It's actually something we're going to talk about down here in prizes. So read this one out here. So the top cut playoffs. Obviously, after the season is completed, the top 8 will be selected. There is a week in between season play and top 8 for you to select what 2 heroes to lock in. So previously, as it was said, right, you could switch your heroes in between your matches and so on and so forth. So that way you had a better feel for things that you liked. But when you're in the top 8, if you hit top 8, you will need to lock in 2 heroes and 2 heroes only. And those 2 heroes will be the ones that you will choose. Of course, we then have those guys set up in a bracket in which they go against one another. Top 8 will only be played on webcam or in person and must be played with real flesh and blood cards. This is very important because, again, we want to make sure that we're supporting the actual game itself. While Talishar is a great convenient way to play, we would much prefer that people who are in the top 8 have the opportunity to get a webcam set up or use their phone or something of the sort to be able to properly get that down. Whether or not we're going to be able to cover them, like actually cover them as they're happening, is a different thing. But we just want to make sure that everybody is getting to see this. We want it to make a nice media presence, and because of that, that's why we're doing this. So, please coordinate your game in the Clash Discord so we know when it's happening, and if so, can have a member of the Clash community present to record the games. So, record the game. Prizes to be decided. Currently, some members of the Clash committee are going to donate some prizes from their personal collection for prizing. We will be doing performance and participation prizing, as well as some fun prizes based on accomplishments, possibly something for somebody that plays the most matches with a merchant, right? So we might have fun little, like, if you ever played Mario Party before, they always give stars for like random accomplishments that happen throughout the game whenever you're at the end of the match of Mario Party. We might have some fun stuff for that too. So just play to your heart's content. Obviously, we are not sure on the merchant thing yet, but it is kind of like that's like the fun thing that we're looking for. Also, is if you're just looking to have fun and try some stuff out, that is also available. So, and then of course you can contact Nathaniel on Discord if you are interested in donating any prizes or sponsoring the league. We'll put links into your to your content or website for anyone donating prizes or sponsoring the league. So, if you guys want to be a part of this and get a content creator in there, we can make that happen for you. Now, the note here is winners of prizes, if any, will need to pay shipping to their location from the U.S., but it will be offset by generous other donations. So any donations we get towards the league will be used for shipping mainly. And that's what we'd like to keep it at. We'd like to make sure this is not a profit thing. Any kind of monetary donation that we get will be put towards shipping prizes out to the players who play in this event. But if there is any money left over, we at the Clash Committee will donate it all to a non-for-profit or a non-profit like charity of our choosing. We're not going to take any of this money in. It's not going to be for us. And honestly, after paying shipping to places all around the world, it probably won't even be a significant amount. But if anybody does want to donate anything towards that, as far as monetary prizing, we're going to use that to offset the shipping of players getting their prizes. But otherwise, it won't be terrible. So any individual can only win one prize, participation, or placement. If you win more than one, you will get the higher of the 2 prizes. So, for instance, if we do a participation prize and Terry gets a participation prize for dealing like an insane amount of damage in one turn on his hero, he wins the raffle for that, and he gets a prize, which is like, I don't know, some promo, right? But Terry then goes on to win the entire event and gets a special prize for the player. If that's the case, they'll get the winning prize as opposed to the smaller prize. So we're going to do all of our prizing and everything at the end of the event, so that way people can go ahead and get everything out of there. And so we can get the top 8 prizing first, and then we can get everybody else's prizing out of the way after. So each season in a row that you were eligible for participation prizing and didn't win any prize will give you an extra entry into the participation prize drawing. So if you didn't win anything this time around, which I'd imagine everybody will, but if you didn't win anything this time around for the participation prize, then we'll add an extra entry for you into the next league that we do. So that's it. And then we have a sponsors thing. So that is essentially what we're doing for Clash. That's our kind of big change that we're planning to do for it. I thought there was another one. Oh, God. Sneezes are crazy. Guess I am still just almost over it. Just almost over it. Oh, golly gee. Yeah, so that is essentially everything that we're doing for Clash. That's the general rundown of the league. Again, for anybody who is looking for any information towards the league, I'm going to have the link to our Clash Discord available in the description, so that way you guys can take a look at it and go over everything and ask questions in our Discord. Like I said, we are very, very active in the Discord. At least I try to be as much as possible. I know a lot of other people are, though. And there's always people talking about what they're going to do for the meta, what they're going to change. And us in the Clash community are always having our own discussions about how we're going to better prepare prizing for things and so on and so forth. So, yeah, make sure to just check that out. It'd be super cool. So, yeah, that's it. So that's it for me there. So hopefully you guys liked that information. I do plan to, I'm going to be in this league. So I'm very excited to be a part of the league and talk about that. I know we have several things to try. I'm genuinely curious on whether or not there are certain heroes I should learn. For instance, Icelander still seems to be pretty busted. Ira still seems to be pretty good. Something I have seen. We just got a whole bunch of deck lists. This was something that I thought was really cool. I did want to show this off to the world. We have an individual by the name of Seabreeze who entered into our Clash thing. Is actually a player and a player with Malzenith. Malzenith is their name. And what this individual did, previous to this league even existing or anything in regards to this, they made a Clash guide for every hero in Flesh and Blood for Clash. Every one of them. And combined, Briar, the complexity level, combine ritual magic with enchanted blades to blast your opponents with sword and sorcery. This deck is mostly earth focused. Aim is to play 1 to 2 buffs before making a big attack, fusing whenever possible. Rosetta is supremely powerful when its condition is met, and it's worth going for. Card Dichotomy against Runeblade, full AB against Wizards. Stir the Wildwood Blue, you can change out for Vexing Malice, lowers damage, but harder to block. Arcane Shockwave switched out for Consuming Volition against overly aggressive heroes. So each little one of these inserts comes with an inventory guide to change out cards in the deck based on what it is. We also got an entire deck list of every one of these decks too, which is super cool. So this here, Dash, Inventor Extraordinaire. Complexity is 1 because it is not a complex hero at all. You literally just play cards. You win. Create ingenious items and blast through with high octane. Your standard starting item is Hyperdriver, but you can opt for Techlocore if you prefer. This deck is aggressive, so expect to boost frequently. To avoid quick burnout, you may need to choose Techoplasma Pistol over some attacks. Spark of Genius will always be played for 0 in this deck. Null Rune Hood for wizards. For endurance-based games, Overload Script, Cognition Nodes, plus Hyperdriver. Overload Script turns into Cognition Nodes, and then you can change Hyperdriver to Security Script if you're going second. Hanabi Blaster for pure aggro, Galvanic Bender for extra defense, and Rotary Ram into Boom Grenade for against other aggro decks. They also have one for Dash IO, which is much more complex. Create genius items and Blaster with High Octane. You want to craft the top card whenever possible on your own turn. Only crank that item if you plan to fire multiple Symbiosis shots in one turn. Ops can help filter non-items off the top. Pay attention to the cards you pitch. Items pitched early may create opportunities later. Like, I love this. I love that this is a thing. Whole thing for Dromai too. Phi. Again, low complexity. Ira. Strike with a wide array of attacks that are both threatening and seemingly endless. Use Ira's ability to get attacks up to annoying thresholds, 3 to 4 or 0 for 1 for Crouching Tiger. As long as you're attacking at least twice per turn, Ira will give you a powerful edge. So, a lot of these stuff, it looks like Ira's actually using the what do you call it? The Tiger build, which is really cool. Like, very, very cool to see. Obviously, Tiger build is a little bit more accessible in Clash than it is in Commoner, so that is very cool. Yeah. Icelander, of course. Complexity is very high, but cast powerful magic to wear down your opponent, then finish them off with a blink of an eye. Use Ice-fused magic to stifle your opponent while setting up Frost Hexes, all in service to a massive Ice Eternal to close things out. Try to always have an arsenal, even if it's not a blue card, the threat is real. So, full Arcane Barrier for wizards. Winter's Bite ×2 to Amulet of Ice ×2 against high AB heroes. That's obviously changed since Waning Moon, also used against high AB heroes or as a matter of preference. Ironhide Gauntlet if you need more defense against bigger swings. I just love that every single one of these, there's one for everybody. Everybody. I also love the the brute ones that he does, or they do, are super funny because instead of it being like, oh yeah, like this is how you do this, and then like telling you all these other things, it's instead, you are brute. Where can't find victory, you make one. KO roll with punches. Well, KO punches anyway. Bad roll? No complain. Many punch still hurt, even when luck is trash. 1 null for Rune Sword, 2 null for Fancy Robe Wizard. Ironhides cause Benji cheats. Ironhides cause Benji because Benji cheats, and big fighters hurt too. Rumble grunting over bad beats if you too spineless to roll. Like, I just love it. Yeah, but at what cost? Don't jump headfirst into blood debt. Like an addiction, it only becomes harder to maintain. Wait until you reach equilibrium, and darkness consumes all. Ebb and Fold is your biggest lifeline. Don't use it until you must. Lone Robe against Arcane. No Rune Gloves are optional for wizards. Bone Bashers if you want to play it safe. Hellhammer if you're trying to force the fire redeemed in early Doomsday. Hungering Slaughter Beast, Graveling Growl based on preference. But I love these. I love everything about these. I think these are so cool. And they're all for Clash. Like, it's just great. It's just awesome. So, I love that these exist. Hopefully we can get these kind of up and talked about. They do prove to be a very good learning point. It'd be something that I personally would like to make one of my own, and then, like, you know, add things to it as the time goes on. So that would be fun. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. But tons of decks available. And we have those all available on our Discord as well. So if you go to our Discord, there is a deck lists channel, and you can go ahead and you can find that there. So, but the real thing is what the hell am I going to play? Because I want to play Dromai, but I want to play Dromai, but I don't think that's the move. Especially with a bunch of new Guardian entering the fray. I kind of want to play Betsy, if I'm being entirely honest. Because I think Betsy would be cracked. Like, Big Bet is already pretty good. There's a whole thing of blues. Oof. I mean, even we could pitch all of this for Cartilage Crush, Choke Slam, Bigger Than Big. Huh. Fate, Wage Vigor. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how this works out, but I'd be curious. But Betsy seems like a really, really fun hero to play. Obviously, KO is going to be crazy. Um, I'd be curious to see what Kasai does. I should be playing freaking Cashin in Kasai. You think? This is really good. Um, yeah, Goblet of Blood Red Wine is insanely good. I feel like I should maybe take out Yellow Hit and Run for Cashin. What does Cashin block for? Nothing. Cashin. Two. Blocks for two. Blocks for two. Because this would be really, really, really good in Kasai. Like, this seems crazy good in Kasai. I don't know. Because she seems powerful, but I'd have to figure out what her armor is. Because she's obviously going to want the refraction bolters. That's pretty decent. The real kicker is she going to want... I'm not going to want Goliath Gauntlet. That doesn't make any sense. Gallantry Gold, maybe? Yeah, you're going to want Gallantry Gold for sure. Um, what else? Maybe Blossom of Spring? Get an extra action point? I feel like at that point I'd probably want to play Best of the First Fist. Well, that's not a card. um, can't play these. Let's see. We also don't have a helmet yet. I don't mind playing Ironhide, but I think there are better helmets, right? Snaps we don't need. Same Centerpiece, Threadbare Tunic, Vest of the First Fist. An attack action card you control hits. Now, I would rather play Blossom then. So I need a headpiece. Um, I mean, it's probably Ironhide, right? We pitch to block two. That's huge. What else? What else? I think that's it. And then we just delete null rune stuff uh for that. So the boots. Maybe we even just do one saver? No. No, we need to do two savers because they cost nothing. They'll cost one less to activate. Um the boots will give go again. We kind of want that. I'd probably just put this in here and then maybe this in here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so roughly that. So Yeah, this is so like a turn like this is what, right? You can. Do I run Stroke of Foresight in here? I do, right? Okay, good. Um, so I can play Blood Red, Goblet of Blood Red Wine, Blood Run Wine, get an Agility and a Vigor token, which means that next turn I'll be able to attack with Saber, have it get go again, be able to play it for free and get go again. And then I can also, but I could also pitch it because like that's probably more important. So I can swing with Saber. If I pitch, I can play Stroke. And if I attack with Stroke, how does this work? How does the sequence work for this hand? Right? Because I could still play this for 0. Attack with a Saber, pitch Blade Runner, or pitch Driving Blade to attack with it. And then I can. Is that right? No. I need to then play Stroke of Foresight, pitching Blade Runner to play this. So that wouldn't be right. I'd probably end up just doing attack with Saber, Blade Runner that Saber with Goblet, play Stroke of Foresight and Blade Runner. Because that's 1, 2, 3, right? That means that I'll get to draw a card and discard a card. And that means that my next Saber will come in for 5 and for free. And what would I have drawn? Warrior's Valor? Okay, well that's actually pretty good, but so I could have just Arsenal to Warrior's Valor and just kept it. So it would have been 2, 5, 7 damage. 7 damage, draw, make a don't make a gold, and then I get a bunch of this. What do I have in my grave? I have 3 reds and no. 2 reds and a blue. So I don't also have a lot of yellow. I think that's the other thing, is I also want like a lot of yellows in this deck too. And I don't know how much I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I don't have a lot of blues either, so but I do want more reds and yellows because my care about that. So I think I care about that. 6 yellows and 10 blues. I feel like I need to maybe change that a little bit. I think we're just going to see more when Heavy Hitters comes out. I just can't go crazy with that. But I like how Kasai plays. I think honestly, oh, you know what? I'm not playing in here. Why don't I have Raise an Army in here? What the hell? Get that in there. Screw this. So yeah, that's actually pretty good, I think. Because this cares about how much gold I have. So that's the real kicker here, is I need to just keep cracking up on gold. Which means that if I can just banish 2 reds and yellows every so often, I can create a gold token. And then I can just stack those gold tokens and eventually play Raise an Army. Destroying the gold tokens and making like 5 freaking things, right? And then I could probably even actually, what was that other card? Push forward? Put this in inventory. So change it out. Quite a few buff reds for yellows. Yeah. That very well could be the case too. Like maybe even puncture. Like puncture yellow instead of puncture red, you think? I'm sure this is going to have a yellow version of itself. Hold 'em. Also, how are you feeling, Emma? How are things? Good to see you. Yeah, maybe even yellow overpower. Start working half days on it. Nice. There you go. There you go. Well, I'm also feeling significantly better. Last time you saw me, it was Thursday of last week, and I was fine. Totally fine. Saturday came around, and my girlfriend came home, and she was like, she was home already, but Saturday, she started feeling really, really ill. And I was like, okay, well, I hope you feel better. But, no. Friday, she came home from work, and she's like, I feel like awful. I feel awful. Saturday, I woke up, and I was like, I definitely caught whatever you caught, which was like a sinus infection. That sinus infection lasted until today. From Saturday until now. Um, my God, it was it was awful. So I ended up taking Sunday off of work. Monday I left an hour early from work. Tuesday I left 4 hours early from work because it just progressively got worse. And then yesterday I actually got really lucky in which I was offered voluntary time off. I didn't tell them I was sick, but I was offered voluntary time off because they overstaffed. And they were just like, "Hey, would you like to go home early?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I would." And so went home, and now I have the next 3 days off. But I'm feeling much better now, so that's really good. I went to talk to them. I got my vacation days back, and they offered me to do. That's awesome, man. You have a great company you work for if they're willing to do that. So yeah, yep. But it was rough. It was probably the roughest sinus infection I think I've ever had in my life, and it was something else. But I am happy to be back in the saddle. True, right? That's what I'm saying. It's good to know that a nice family-owned business, like they like to take care of their people, so it's good. This hand sucks. This hand sucks. What? I guess it doesn't suck. Play sharp and steel. Pitch to attack with saber. No. Pitch to attack with saber. Blade runner. Pitch to attack with next saber. Do it again. That's not bad. Where's Valor hit and run? So that's not bad. Play pitch yellow. Play Warriors Valor. Attack with saber for 4. They go to defend. You Iron Song response. Response to that gets +3. And then you pitch for saber. 16, 14, 10 spread of colors, you think? Yeah, because I know it's definitely, 20, 10, 10 is like, yeah. But I'm really trying to figure out how much of this is going to be strictly based around this card. Because what do you think the key number of Centauri sellswords it's going to need to take in order for this deck to just be like absolutely insane? Like absolutely insane. Yeah, this is Clash. I unfortunately can't use Nourishing Emptiness. So, because if you're destroying, true, one sellsword is already good, but like I'm trying to get like 3 at minimum because you do have to attack. Like you still have to pay. You have to attack with your weapon, give it go again, and then use the rest of your resources to attack with a bunch of sellswords. I'm not sure. Like, because it's either more resource intensive or it isn't. And I'm curious whether or not there's going to be another card for Kasai. Even, I'm wondering if there's even going to be like if there's going to be like a buff for Kasai to say all of your Centauri sellswords this turn cost 1 less to attack or something. But that would be a specialization for sure, because since she's the only one who makes these. To use the seat swap for Blitz. I mean, they only have 2 health. Like, yeah, that kind of stops like a ninja's things, because you either have to clear these or you don't, right? Like, you don't have to worry about Phantasm. But I don't think they should be getting buffs either, but like, that's what I'm saying. Is like, what is the turnaround? Because if I get all that in my hand, I play Raise an Army with like 3 gold tokens on turn, right? I put like oh, what is that other card? Maybe we put that in here. It's a yellow, right? Is it a yellow? Hold on. Maybe we take out the red here. We put in starting stake. Starting stake. Yeah. Yeah, Blood on Your Hands is like copper. And I don't really think it works too well here. I think this card is definitely a good call in here. If you control no gold tokens, create a gold token. And it's a yellow. So 18, 12, 10 is where we're at now. I almost like this spread, but like, oh, God. Because, like, it sucks. I think true, it does not have go again. So, I mean, in any case, you could play Centauri Saber, attack, or give it go again with something like Warrior's Valor, right? If you end up hitting with it and then just playing this. But, see, I'm also wondering whether or not we just run 1. Like, if we happen to get a turn 1, that's rad, but if we don't, it's like whatever. Severity of Run Through and Blade Flash. They are also... No, they're Majestic. Are they? No. Blade Flash is a rare. Yeah, target sword attack, it's going in. That's actually really good. But what do I take it out for? Goblet? No, I like Goblet. Goblet's good. This has go again. Oh, it is common. Sorry, it is common. Yeah. And then Run Through is also, it's a rare. Target sword attack gains go again. Your next sword attack this turn gets +2. That's actually... Place the Warrior Valor's blue. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I guess it guarantees the go again, right? So Blade Flash. I keep forgetting about these cards. And then run through. This is target sword attack gets go again. Your next sword attack this turn gets +2. So should I replace the yellow Warrior's Valor with it, or should I replace a red? Because I'm going to replace like a red Overpower with this. Because I feel like red Overpower is like the most expensive card in the set, or in this deck right now. Everything else is pretty okay. You can play rares in Clash, yeah. Yep, you can play rares in Clash. You can play commons in Clash. Because Warrior Valor is a rare. So, place the Warrior's Valor. Yeah, okay. Yep, rares and commons you can play in the main deck, and then your specializations can be any rarity, your weapons can be any rarity, and your mentors can be any rarity. So I was wondering whether or not there was a good idea for a mentor, but I don't think the mentor here works for her. But it does actually get you a specialization. So when Minerva is face up in Arsenal, one-handed weapons you control have +1. Whenever a weapon you control hits, put a lesson counter. There are 3 or more lesson counters on her. Banish her and search your deck for a specialization card. Do that. So we could put Minerva in here if we wanted to do that. I'm not sure where she'd go, but Minerva is definitely who Rachel's going to cosplay next, right? Like, that's got to be it. Probably should replace Overpower with Yellow Stroke of Foresight because it triggers Kasai's discount. Yes, yeah. Stroke of Foresight does trigger the discount. Should we replace it with Minerva? Do we do 2 copies of the Minerva? Just one. I think we just do one, right? I don't think we need 2. She's going to take up an arsenal slot for 3 turns. But you want 2 to also draw into it a little bit faster. Only one ever. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. The game should be over at that point, right? So yeah. So Atari Saber. No. Hit and run. Attack with Centauri Saber pitching Blade Runner. Stroke a foresight it and then pay to attack. Or we don't have to pay anything for Centauri next turn. Probably is right. Should not play Warrior's Valor? Isn't Warrior's Valor like cracked? I would have thought the card was cracked. It's a yellow card. Dauntless? No, that's from Crew. Mm-hmm. Well, it's conditional go again and also a buff. Plow through. No, that's Monarch. It's yellow. No, I think we got them all. I'm curious. Draw. Yeah, stroke first. That's the only one that allows you to draw a card. So, because you definitely want that additional draw power, because you're not going to be pitching to destroy your gold. Some cases you might be, but you probably aren't. So, I almost want to take this. Maybe we take out a Hold'em. I don't really like this. On a knife's edge. On a knife edge. Your next sword attack this turn gets go again, go again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it blocks for 2, where Warrior Valor blocks for 3. Hmm. I don't know if I love the Hold'em thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, getting a Vigor token is pretty cool, and it forces them to block with cards from hand. Hmm. Because if I play this, attack with the Saber, it'll come in for 5. If it's blocked by an attack action card, it'll come in for 6. And like, this isn't terrible. I also like this too, Slice and Dice. Like, it doesn't give go again, though, which is like the whole downside. Now, I don't have slice and dice in here now. Definitely should be playing the red and the yellow. What do you think I should take that out for? Should I take out the hold'ems and maybe the precision press? I don't know. It's so funny because there's just like you take 20 cards out of like a CC deck, and it's like I can't fit everything in here. Hold'em and starting stake, but this gets me gold. This will get me gold. Oh, fuck. Guess I could just make gold anyway, so let me see. Okay, what are we looking like now? So in this turn, we can play Slice and Dice. We can pitch Blade Runner, attack with Centauri Saber. It'll come in for 3. Reaction, we play Run Through. That's 1 floating now. And then we attack with Centauri Saber again. And we get, what is that? +3, +2, so +5. So 7? Yikes. Holy shit. 7? Yeah, and then Arsenal the Puncture, yeah. Holy shit. So come in for 3. And then 7. 10 damage with just your weapons. You didn't lose like nearly anything. Okay, next hand. We got a Minerva. So we'd have to get the puncture out of Arsenal, which theoretically we can do. We can't. This hand's actually kind of bad. We can play Warrior's Valor, pitching the Sharpened Steel, attack with Centauri Saber, pitch to the fuck does Puncher do again? Pay 1, gets +1. So, hmm. See, swing Saber. You just threaten Warrior's Valor, right? Like that's just what you do. Play Warrior's Valor, pitch this, but then you got to pitch for Saber. You have 1 card in hand that can't pitch for anything. Pitch Valor for Saber. Use Refraction Bolters. Pitch for second Saber, use Puncture in either attack. Then move an Arsenal. But what if it doesn't hit? Does he have to hit? Doesn't just come in for 2 raw. Maybe 3. But I guess in most cases people won't block 2, right? So I don't know. I always assume people are going to block this because like I have Refraction Bolters, but getting Minerva and also worst case scenario, we also then just we attack with Centauri Saber. We then, if they block it, we can just pitch for Puncture, and then we can Arsenal Minerva and keep Steel because we don't have Go again here. Pretty good hand. Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. So okay, So here, pretty good. Obviously, Minerva would flip in this situation. Let's just assume we keep our hand. Which I shouldn't. I shouldn't assume that at all. These will all get +1. So it'll be 3s, essentially. We can then attack with Saber, pitching. No. Play hit and run. No. Attack with Saber, pitch, hit, and run. One float. Use it on Blade Flash. And then... No. We should pitch Blade Flash here. That's way more resources. And we want to get yellows in this grave. So... Play hit and run. Attack with Saber. Pitching Blade Flash. Opponent blocks for 3. Play Stroke of Foresight. Give it +2 for 5. Draw a card. Dip a card. Ditch a card. Draw a card and put a card on the top or bottom. And then we can maybe play hit and run again. Because this will be free. Yellow hit and run. Pitch Blade Flash for Saber. Use Stroke. Use hit and run on second attack for Saber. 5+6. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was trying to math out the resources on that. Because we play this for 0. Pitch Blade for this. We got 2 floating. 1 floating for Stroke. We draw discard. And then we play the other hit and run. +3. Let's be 6. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's interesting. Okay. Might play Goblet here. Play Goblet. Play hit and run blue. No. We could pop Blossom. Play Goblet. Play hit and run blue. Swing with Saber. No. It wouldn't get go again. I don't know. I like Goblet for setup, but I think it actually does kind of fuck us, doesn't it? Because, like, that's really good for next turn, right? I mean, if we just, like, dipped, right? We were just like, okay, cool, like, play this, fucking swing with Saber, like, just pitch this, or pitch this, swing with Saber. No, I mean, we could just not attack react here, right? Just swing, because that's 6, right? Do 6 here. Or we could swing Saber, pitching the blue, not giving a go again, but giving Stroke. And then we can Bolters if we have Bolters up. Because that'll be 6 if we get the attack action. We get to draw, discard, Bolters for go again, and then a swing with Saber for 3 more, because we still have Minerva. So actually, this is 7, possibly, if we still have Minerva up. So this is 7 here with Stroke, if they block with the attack action. Bolters. Give it go again. Swing with Saber here. That'll be 3, 4. No. Yeah, 4 if they block with an attack action. But then we can also Iron Song response if they block. giving it another +3. So it could be 7. So that is a possible threatening 14. Right? That's the math. And we get a agility and vigor token, which means next turn, when we get our specialization, we get a free go again. Because Minerva will pop on the next turn. We will right? Is that how that works? I've never used a mentor day in my life. Yeah. If there are 3 or more less encounters on her, banish her. Search your deck for a specialization card, put it face up into Arsenal, then shuffle. So we get Raise an Army. And maybe we even get rid of some of the yellows and the reds in our grave for gold. And even if we get like 2, right? We can then play Raise an Army, get 2 Cell Swords, we get an agility token, which means that we get a free go again on our weapon attack. So we attack with our weapon, we get go again, and then we use the rest of our resources to attack with all of our Centauri Cell Swords, and then we attack with a weapon again. And then we just keep that going throughout the concept of the game, because we didn't even run into a Raise an Army in there yet. This is kind of fun. I'm very curious how this is going to play. Man, I need to get my hands on Minervas now. How much do you think this card costs now? Forgot Light Sworns were called Minerva. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh, fuck my life. I mean, she was good in Kasai, so... Oh my god. Oh, I only need one. So... I only need one. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Okay. So that'll be interesting to play. I have to change my Clash thing now. I'm glad I didn't make that video yet. I didn't even think about Minerva. What are the other mentors in the game, right? There's mentor. There's Chief Rukatan, which could be a good mentor for either KO or Rhinar. Face up an Arsenal. Whenever you play a card with 6 or more power, intimidate and put a lesson counter on him. If there are 2 or more lesson counters, banish them and search your deck for an Alpha Rampage. Put a face up in the Arsenal and shuffle. So, only used for Rhinar. This is only a Rhinar mentor, but it is good for it is good for Clash. That is nice. It blocks for 3 too. Hala Goldenhelm. Space up in the Arsenal. Whenever a sword attack you control hits, it gains go again and put a lesson counter on Hala. 2 or more lesson counters on Hala. Banish or search your deck for a Glistening Steel Blade. So this is strictly for Dory. Because that's a Dory specialization, right? Glistening Steel Blade? No. Is it? Somebody's going to have to tell me. Hold on. I'll just look it up. Glistening Steel Blade. It is a Dory specialization. Okay, so only for Dorinthia. Lady Barthamont is for Levia, pretty sure. Space up an Arsenal. Whenever you play an attack action card, banish the top card of your deck. If its banished card has 6 or more power, the attack gains Dominate and put a lesson counter on Barthamont. Then if there are 2 or more lesson counters on her, banish her, search your deck for a specialization card. This actually is also just good for any brute. What? Giving your 6 power attacks Dominate? You just play an all 6 Rhinar or KO. This actually is even super good for KO. What? Actually? Hello? Lady Barthamont. Super good for new KO. Because it just needs to be a 6, and all of his 5 blues, his 5 attack blues are 6s anywhere besides the combat chain. So you can play an attack action card, banish the top card of your deck, and if the banished card is 6 or more power, which in most cases it probably will, the attack will gain Dominate. So you already have like an insanely high valued card coming in for Dominate. So it's like a 7, maybe a 6, like a 7 or 6 Dominate And then you get to get a specialization when she's done. So that's pretty good. With Sutcliffe, obviously this is going to get a lot of like use here in the new heroes, but nice. Okay. So Minerva, Barthamont, and Ruktan. That's huge, actually. That's huge for real. The fact this is just a brute mentor, I might even put a Chief Rukatan and a Lady Barthamont in. Well, Lady Barthamont's probably going to be more for KO than it is for Rhinar, because like this is very specific. The Intimidate is huge. Oh, the art on this? Hello? Never seen this. There are so many of these cards I just have not seen before. So cool. How much does the brick of these cost? Blitz, deck, Monarch. Monarch, Blitz, decks. Instead of 4. Ready to play out of the box. Selected hero and Monarch. $30? I could pay $32 and get them all? What? That's really good. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy. Next, what are we looking for a spread now, right? Spread is 16, 13, 10. So right around where, if it wasn't for Minerva, probably would have been a yellow. So we're assuming right around where we need to be for the spread for Kasai. Obviously, this is not including any of the newer cards that are possibly going to be coming out for Kasai, but this is pretty good. So I do like this. Hopefully, we get some new heroes. Yeah. I mean, I kind of just figured like, hey, like, getting a whole bunch of like blitz decks isn't the end of the world kind of deal, but I'm pretty sure the mentors are, because Lady Barthamont is probably about a couple bucks, yeah. Not even. Now there's a promo version of her. That's a rainbow foil. Oh god. It's cool. Beef Rukutan. Another rainbow foil. How much is the other one though? Rukutan. Cents? Yeah. So it's definitely better off just buying each individual one. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Oh, holy shit. Some of these sneezes are real rough. Minerva probably being the most popular due to the fact that Kasai was doing so well in Blitz. I know you ran her in Blitz. Who the hell else did I say? That was it. Chief Rukatan, Lady Barthamont, and Minerva. So it might be the case. Man. All right, well, that's important. That'll at least be good. What else? I really hope to see more mentors too. I feel like the concept's really, really cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably just going to get one of each. I'd imagine they're all. I might just get 2 for the sake of having a playset for the Young Hero format, but it's like Hala Golden Helm is also like nothing at all. Lord Sutcliffe It's also another rainbow foil Lord Sutcliffe. $20. United cents. What was the other one? That was it. Hollow Gold Helm. The Librarian. That's right. Yeah. 50 cents. So I can get everything there. I can get like 2 copies of everything for like under $10. Really, outside of Minerva. 2 copies of Minerva will cost me $10, but everything else outside of it is going to be like maybe $15 for the entirety of all 6, a playset of all 6 mentors, which is really good considering if mentors ever become like a cracked thing, it might be enough. And this actually might be really good in New Prism. Because I just thought about that. That's kind of cool. We made the figments as prism specializations, which means that theoretically, the librarian can find us a figment in Clash, which is pretty cool. Are all of prism specializations. That's prism. Arclight Sentinel, right? Arclight Sentinel's prism specialization. Herald of Judgment's a prism specialization. But that's a rare, so we can run as many of that as we want. I still need to know what this card's all about. Can you believe that they just dropped United We Stand with no context whatsoever and just were like, we'll let the community figure out what we're going to do with this? Crazy. So Arclight Sentinel is really the only prism specialization that would probably warrant use in there. But we can run Arclight Sentinel and as many figments as we want. And we can have the librarian get us one of those. They're also so cool. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. There's a lot of things to go on. I'm still not sure how I want to make sure to do this, because we have access to mentors, weapons, and like new prism with our new weapon is probably going to be really insane. I don't know how insane it's going to be in Clash, because if we think about it, let's go ahead and let's make a deck real quick. I don't know if we'll actually have access to this, but Clash. Prism Advent of Thrones and Prism Advent Clash heavy. Okay, so we have access to 3 weapons, right? First and foremost, we could play Luminaris, which I don't know why you wouldn't just play the original Prism if you're going to play Luminaris, but this is really what I want to try playing. The Angel's Glow. There's a yellow card in your pitch zone. The first attack action card with Herald in its name you play each turn, and your first angel attack each turn get go again. So you're going to want a lot of yellows. For the sake of this, you could probably play the Librarian, but like the odds are pretty good. I'm not sure whether or not Librarian is worth a shot there. Wave of Reality is okay. I like it. Sound Stilettos put in there too for the AB. Herald in the same gets go again, so we don't need to worry about this. Next angel attack this turn gets +3. Wrath is really good. Target attack action card with Herald in its name gets +4. So you can use that to buff an angel. I like that. We need yellows though, so hold tight. This will give your angels the ability to block a lot of crazy stuff. I don't know if I want to play this. If I wanted to play a more defensive, build a board state kind of deck, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't know. Herald of Protection I would like to have. Card is good. I feel like I should just have all yellows, right? Like, we're going to play Arclight Sentinel. We'll do another Angelic Wrath. We'll do a... The Figment, we're going to at least do one of every... Maybe not one of every Figment. What do you do again? I can't flip you over. Frick. Yeah, we'll do one of every Figment. Why not? We're playing into the lore. We're doing it. We're going to do it. Herald of Protection. Herald of Judgment is a yellow pitch. This is specifically for shadow stuff. I don't really like that. Herald of Ravage is good because you get +1 in the arcane and the soul stuff. Maybe Merciful Retribution. Yeah. It would be nice, actually. I think Parable of Humility might actually even be better. But that's a lot. But so are these. Okay, hold on. What does Prism do? When a card with Herald in its name is put into Prism's Soul during an action phase, you may search your deck for a Figment, put it into the arena, and shuffle. So in that case, I don't think I want the Librarian. And then a once per turn instant, I can pay 2 to banish a card from Prism's Soul and awaken a target Figment I control. So I can pay 2, flip one of these things, and then attack with it. I got to look at what the Figments do. They do essentially the same thing as the Figment. They do the same thing as their counterpart, right? When Soraya attacks, you may banish a card from your hero's soul. If you do, draw 2 cards. So Soraya is definitely a good choice. Figment of Judgment. When this enters the arena, you may turn a card in any banish zone face down. You may banish a card from your hero's soul if you do turn any card in banish zone face down. So Themis may not even be one that I run, because that's very specific. It might be to go against like Chain or Levia. Figment of Protection, this one's good because you make Spectral Shields. Figment of Ravages is arcane damage. Figment of Rebirth. Put a yellow action card from your graveyard to the top of your deck. That's really good. These are instants, not actions, so you can't even do that. So Figment of Rebirth is pretty okay. Figment of Tenacity. Next attack this turn gains Dominate. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's what I have in there is the Angel's Glow. Figment of Triumph. Attack action cards your opponent control get -1 this turn. Victoria's pretty good because you can play Prism's ability. Get that out and swing, because like these don't have Phantasm. So, and Figment of War, this is create a courage token. And this is wild too. You may banish a card from your hero, so if you do, put a +1 counter on each angel you control. So I think if I'm cutting anything from here, it's probably Figment of Judgment, but at that point, I'd much rather just have the angels, like them there. You can only run one of each, like at that point, it's just fine. The downside is you can really only use Prism's ability 8 times. So I just need powerful heralds. It's for 5. I don't like that. Yeah, exactly. This is not bad. This is good because it's low cost. It's a lot of the red heralds. And then we want the yellow heralds, probably. Still pitch all the. I mean, they're all yellows. So we need more reds. Because I just need one yellow in pitch and everything gets go again. The problem is I need to attack then with because the goal is you attack with a herald. You pitch a yellow. It gets go again. Right? If your opponent pops it, it's whatever, right? Because at that point you have to figure that out. But you'll go in there. Yeah. Yeah, Herald of Protection is really good. War Tune is also good because it's just cheap. So that's all of that there. We have Arclight Sentinels. We have all this other stuff. Hmm. Oh, Passing Mirage, probably. Duh. Maybe Pierce? Kind of set myself up for some good stuff. That might be fun. So, because then the goal would be then, right, play Passing Mirage, be able to attack with a Herald, give it go again, and then you attack with an Angel. That. The only thing that this deck loses to is Vincent in most cases. I mean, not it loses to a lot of things, but like in most cases, Vincent is like a ruiner for this deck because if you have unblockable, like I would hate to play this into Vincent because if I got like a whole board of angels and they were just like, yeah, unblockable or unpreventable one rune chant, it blows up your whole board, and that's not good. So like I'm almost wondering if we cut some figments for more heralds Because even if we Herald, it's rad. If we Herald Angel, it's cool. But I don't know. We could also theoretically, if we had the balls, we could Herald with Go Again, Angelic Descent, another Herald, and then uh and then Angel. How many resources is that? That's you gotta attack with the Herald, pitching yellow. Let's just assume it's a Herald of Protection. You pitch a yellow. Let's just assume you have a 4-card hand. Pitch Herald of Protection. You have 2 cards left in hand. And you have a card in Soul. You pitch another yellow for Prism's ability. No, Herald of Protection hits, goes into Soul, Prism's ability triggers. You can then pitch another yellow to get a... Yeah, because you don't have enough. Let's just assume you have 5 then. Because you have to Awaken the Figment with another yellow. It means that now you're at 1 card in hand with an Angel on board and an action point. So then you can play another Herald from Arsenal, use Angelic Descent, use another Herald from Arsenal, giving it Go Again, and then you'd have nothing to pitch for the Angel. So it's a little too much. But on the other side of things, you could play original Luminaris and just switch this part out for Angelic Descent, buffing your Heralds and also giving them Go Again. And you could also just play these Figments. You don't have to do all that, but like in this case, I could just play the Figment, create a Courage token, right? Just buff up my board. Or I can swing with Herald of Protection, pitch this probably. And then I could even attack with Herald of Protection again. So that's 14 damage. Threatening. Figment of Tenacity, War Tune, so Pierce. So I can, in this case, if any of those hit, I can get a Figment out. I can then pitch any of these to pop the Figment. Do all that. I don't know, that's a lot. So much sequencing going on with this. This is very... I know. And like, I mean, we'd probably run Blossom of Spring, I'd assume, for chest. Dreamweavers might not even be bad either. Like, that's actually pretty good. I might even just put that down there. Boop, 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 doop. Next attack action card will cost 2 a greater. You play this turn gets +2. Oh, we can play Heart and Cross Strap. And Goliath Gauntlet if we really wanted to. We were trying to play it into like actually this might be for like wizards. So we could play this general thing. No. I think we're still looking generally like this. And then we need a headpiece. And it's definitely going to be Halo of Illumination. Or the Radiant stuff. Banish this and a card from your hero soul. Prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to your hero this turn. We're not going to have a ton of soul, and we want our soul to be used for other things. So I don't think Radiant Touch and the Radiant stuff would actually be good for us. And then what? We just have like Null Rune? Maybe? We do Null Rune. Do Null Rune arms. And that's it. Because then we can just keep Stilettos. We can keep Blossom. Unless we want to change out Blossom for Robe. And the headpiece has Spell Void. But then we'd only have 2 AB. We want 3 for Aether Ice Vein. So we should probably get the chest in here too. Maybe we remove Blossom of Spring and we put in the Null robe down here, and then the Null gloves. So that way we have Spell Void head, AB legs, AB arms, and AB chest. Wave of Reality, yeah, like I like it, but I don't know when I'm going to play it unless it's against like a more damage dealing deck. Maybe against like Ninja or something. I don't know. I don't think it's a terrible deck to start. Again, I still think that Figment of Judgment can actually go. Because it's so specific to other heroes. Or to shadow heroes. But it's also another attack. But it's way expensive. I think I am going to cut it. Even though it's like the best looking one by far. I'm going to cut it. I think I'm going to put in another... Maybe I will just put in one Angelic Descent. Just cuz. Just for fun. Just for funsies, right? It might be okay. So, in a situation normally... this is bad. I guess we could... We can swing with War Tune, pitching Pierce. I guess I could play Merciful first, pitching Arclight and Pierce, and then attack with War Tune for 7. And if it's destroyed, they take a... they take AB, and if it's a non-token light card, put it into your Hero Soul. So it'll go into Soul, and it'll be destroyed, and they'll get an AB. And now they have to deal with that. And so that's 7 damage, right? If I really wanted to, I could pop this also, but I probably won't. And I'm going to draw. So now I have a card in Soul. I actually searched for Figment at that very moment because the card got put in Soul. Right? When a card with Herald in its name is put into Prism Soul during an action phase, you may search your deck for a Figment and put it into the arena. So, probably get Figment of... What the hell is the name of that card? Erudition? Because it's rad. Figment of Erudition. Put that out there because it would have me create a Ponder token. So I'd actually create the Ponder token. I draw, I'd have card in Arsenal. This Figment of Rebirth would probably go in Arsenal then. So I draw 2 Passing Mirage, a Herald of Protection, and something else. I'm just going to assume it's a yellow. At that point, then, we can probably pitch one of these Passing Mirages, awaken Herald of Erudition. We can... Maybe we Mage Masters here. Should we play Mage Masters Boots? At that point, I could play Passing Mirage. I could like pitch, play Passing Mirage, have 2 float. Use that 2 float to turn on the Herald of Erudition. And then I can pop... No, I'd have to... Yeah. No, yeah. So I can't attack with it. I wouldn't want to attack with a Herald, but I can attack with the Angel. I'll attack with the Angel first, pitching this Herald of Rebirth, or this Figment of Rebirth. Soraya will draw me 2 cards. I'm going to have another card in hand. I don't know what the hell it is. And because Figment of Rebirth is actually be an arsenal. So I have this. Okay, so don't worry about this. Let's see. I have Mage Master's Boots. I can pitch a Passing Mirage to play a Passing Mirage, get an action point, 2 float, remove War Tune from Prism Soul, awaken Soraya, pitch Herald of Protection, attack with Soraya, giving it go again, drawing 2 cards, and then maybe attacking with a Herald. I'd get a Herald of Protection and not this. So let's just assume it's these two, right? I get a Herald Protection and War Tune, so I can go ahead and pitch Herald of Protection and then attack with War Tune Herald. Kind of freaking cracked. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the only thing that sucks is all Phantasm. So like, what are you gonna do, right? Like, what are you even gonna do against that? But Mage Masters almost seems better than Stilettos. Like, keep Stilettos for AB, but Mage Master Boots. Yeah. Huh. I don't know. Maybe I should probably make this a yellow. Yellow Angelic Descent. Just makes more sense. Okay. And Wraths are also cool. I mean, like, this is a great way to, like, buff Herald attacks. But it's not really going to matter in anything that doesn't have poppers. Luckily, there are usually less poppers in young formats than in CC. But every deck still usually has about 2 to 4 poppers, and in that space of 2 to 4 poppers, it could just be used properly. The Arclights I like too, but again, it is expensive, so I do have to make sure that I have proper stuff. Merciful Retribution is also still, like, I think this is a really good card. So we got 1, 2, 3. How many targets do we have for that? We have 6, 8, 10, 14, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 targets. All of them can be put into Soul through Merciful Retribution, which is good. Now, all the other auras also don't. They don't do that, right? Yeah. Ode to Wrath allows when a source you control deals damage to an opposing hero, they lose 1 life. And then Illusionist attack action cards you control have go again. So not what I need, but Parable Humility. Yeah, this just brings the stuff down. I think Merciful Retribution is by far the win because it allows that if a card is destroyed, you get to deal the 1 arcane, and then you also get to get that card into Soul. I think that is more important. I think this is fine. Not a whole lot of blocking power, but I think that's fine. I think it's more like a race at that point. We do have Ward for all of these, so it is possible. God, I can only imagine what the Angels are. I can only imagine what they cost. Probably like $20 for each Angel. Maybe not. Ooh, these went down. Ooh, my goodness gracious. $94 for Figment of Rebirth? Are you kidding me? Oh. Oh my god, this price went down so much. What? What? $70 for Dust Till Dawn? What? Oh my god. I might just buy a box of Duskledawn. Are you kidding me? I'm looking for Figment. So those there. Oh, it's like a few bucks. So I only need one of each. So now Soraya's not one, right? No. Invoke Soraya is not a thing. I don't think so. I don't think we did that, right? Pretty sure we did not. Let me see. Yeah. No, just the Figments. So not Soraya. Okay, this Soraya is better anyway. That's the thing. Oh, see, that's the thing though. You got to have 2 cards in Soul. So you attack with this. You have to pay. You have to banish a card in Soul to Figment it, and then you have to banish another card to get Soraya's ability. That's a lot harder than I think. Getting 2 cards into Soul. I mean, the Soul thing will probably be a lot easier than we think. So that's at least good. But damn if I'd be crazy about it. Bologna would be a wild one to do though. +1 counter on each angel you control. Like the only downside is Ward 4. Like they're easily destroyed if I can't block it out. So, I don't know. We're very curious to see what's going to happen. I'm actually genuinely curious to see. What we mentioned in the announcements. Where did he have this? Deck list. Did you have Prism Advent? What does your deck look like? Nearly the same thing. Illuminate. Yeah, if it hits, put in your hero's soul. Doesn't get go again from this though. War Tune, Celestial Resolve. Just about. There's only 4 Figments in here. Herald Judgment, some Ravages, some Rebirths. Okay, it does run Merciful Retribution. Haze Bending. Or Haze Bending or another illusionist non-token aura you control is destroyed, create a Spectral Shield token. I guess that is good to have the Spectral Shields. Passing Mirage. Inventory would be Celestial Reprimand, -3 on attacks. Figment of Rebirth to get stuff back to your hand. Figment of Triumph. Dreamweaver's Null Rune Reality Refractor. Huh. How does this one work? So, attack with Triumph, pitching this. Triumph hits, goes into Soul, get a Figment. Pitch to activate Figment, or pitch to attack with Herald of Judgment. That's going to be a lot of testing. I'm going to have to test that out. I like my build a little bit more, but I think that might also be good. All right. Well, it's been about 3.5 hours. Didn't get a chance to do a whole lot of testing. I am going to be still doing some deck building and checking some stuff out. And hopefully I can do some videos on testing, but I need to get my Clash video out for everybody. In a sec here, we're going to talk a little bit more about the things to expect with some of these heroes in Clash for heavy hitters. So we're still keeping the heavy hitters hype pretty well done there. And then after that, maybe we'll make another video talking about the general idea behind the cards in heavy hitters and how they're going to affect the other heroes. For instance, like if Bravo wants a build with Miller's Grindstone, or if old KO is going to use any of the new Intimidate cards, or if, I don't know, the Warrior stuff, if Olympia, or if like Kasai's stuff is going to be used. We don't really have like new stuff for, I think like Warrior hasn't gotten like a lot of like fun things to check out yet, but I don't know. There's a lot to check out. So I'm going to do my best to kind of get that through. I do have to go. I'm going to get some food, eat a little bit. We've been streaming for about 3.5 hours now. But again, I just want to thank you guys so much. Obviously, 1655 is where we're at right now for our subscribers. We're hoping to get to 2,000 at some point here this year. So I'm very excited to continue to do that for you guys. Obviously, there's going to be more and more, content coming your way. We're going to try to do a live stream every Thursday. I'm going to try to cover stuff as it comes out. Unfortunately, I only have like 3 days of a span to do things. So if I do miss anything, you guys can also follow me on Twitter, which is also linked in the description, and we can talk about that stuff there. So let me know if there is anything that you guys want to see as far as this goes, and hopefully, I can continue to bring more coverage towards the Clash format and even Commoner in regards to the new cards that are coming out too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate it. It's been a pleasure chilling with you guys for the past 3.5 hours, and hopefully we'll get some videos up and out there so that way you guys can have a fantastic time learning about this. And again, if you want to join our Clash League, which will be starting in a month from now, you can go ahead and go to our Discord, which is in the description down below. You can join the Discord and talk amongst everybody in regards to what cards you wanted to play for Clash, or what decks you wanted to play for Clash, and get that set up. And hopefully you can have a webcam and everything all set up, and a microphone, and we can get some games going for you guys. So thank you all so much for watching. It means a lot. I appreciate it. And I catch you all sometime next week. All right, guys. Take care. Nerd out.